my wonderful, wonderful peoples. My wonderful, wonderful chat, my wonderful, wonderful lurkers. It's Hibika, your favorite Shisa. How's everybody doing this Saturday? It is finally the weekend for me. Finally. It's been a doozy of a week, but I got through it. And I got whooped and I got strangled at the same time. So much fanfare, all for little old May. Hello, Shadow Killer. How are you doing? How is the Singra? How is the Livy? How is the Sin? Let's see if I missed anybody. Let's see. Smelly! This one's for you, Pookie. This one's for you. Hold on. You can't see it right now. Give me a second. Ah! What the fuck? What is this? What the fuck is this? Hold on. Maybe this one. We'll do this one. This one seems to want to work. So we'll do that instead. But yes, this one is for my Pookie. And I've been wanting to play this for quite some time. My Pookie told me about this game like a year ago. So I figured, well, one, I wanted to play it for quite some time. And then I was like, you know what? I think it's time to play when I started to stream. But then I said, wait, I could save this. I could save this specifically for February. So here we are. In February, we're going to create a new file here. Alright. Oh, but the Shisa's doing great. The Shisa's alright. So, let me tell you a little bit about this game. If I remember correctly... Oh, Shadow Killer, I'm so sorry to hear that your dad has a stomach virus. It seems like everybody's getting sick this time of year. Oh shit, you're right, I didn't scrungle. There we go. Are you happy now? That's alright, Shadow Killer. I'm just happy you came. But in this game, it's a wholesome romance, or you have a lot of pathways you can go down. You could romance, you could just be friends, but basically it's about romancing your childhood friend and all the cute stuff that comes with it. Every minute that passes without struggle time, you burn one of Lexi's plants. Alright. Tutorial. There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how the features work, so you guys can learn along with me, because this is my very first time opening the game. I'm super excited. You can read the full tutorial from the main menu to learn everything in detail. To start off, the game is divided into 4 time periods called steps. Step 1, childhood. Step 2, adolescence. Step 3, young adulthood. And Step 4, adulthood. Yes, chat. We are in this for the long haul. I hope you're ready. Gang crazy! Hello! Such exuberance from you. That's what I like to see. Our life is further divided into sets of vignettes that take place during specific periods of time. Those are called moments. We are playing Our Life, which is a visual novel about romancing your childhood friend. It's very sweet, very wholesome. Thank you for the boop, Shadow Killer. Thank you so much. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely. You move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting the summer that summer is ending. I'm glad you're in a good mood. It's good to hear. Did anything good happen recently, or are you just in a happy, silly mood? Okay, step 4 is an epilogue. A lot happens over the years, especially in regard to the character you play as. You determine nearly everything about the main character: name, appearance, personality, programs, pronouns, interests, skills, their relationship with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change the details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, eye color can't be altered once set. That makes sense. Much of the MC's basic traits are determined on character creation. As the main character grows up, more options become available on the screen. I'm glad you're in a happy, good mood. It's good to be in a happy, good mood. I'm in a happy, good mood. I was a little late to stream because I forgot my beverage. I decided, I found this, like, strawberry flavored powder in my, I found this strawberry flavored powder in my cabinet, and I was like, oh, what the hell? Tastes pretty good. I'm pretty sure there's, like, a lot of red 40 in here, but it's okay. You're gonna die sometime. I was like, oh shit, I don't have my, my sippy sip drink, or drink of water. Preset options are called voice names because the name will be voiced aloud by the romantic lead. You'll get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. Oh, okay. So it's the red 40 that tastes good. It's the red 40 that adds the flavor. Red 40. Only the default name Jamie is included in the base game. Hundreds more can be added by getting a free... Okay, so pack and stuff. Full collection of names separated as DLC. DLC... We don't have any DLC. This is all base game. Sorsha! Hello, sunshine! Thank you. You're so sweet. You are so sweet. Welcome to the chat. We were playing Our Life, which is a visual novel about romancing your childhood friend. Not all things you decide about the main character appear on the doll. The script referencing what you've decided for the main character is the main way these decisions upload to the game. Okay. Our Life has a first-person perspective, so your character does not appear next to other character sprites. You only see the main character as the decorative doll, and in special cut-in CG images. The cut-in CGs only appear if certain choices are made. It's possible not to see any during a playthrough. There are also a second type of special MC-based screen, interest comfort screen. Unless you get the DLCs, the game has one love interest, Cove Holden. He grows up with the main character and is... So yeah, there's no, there's no, like, other interests. You're just playing, like, there are different ways the game can go, but there's only one love interest, is what I mean. But yeah, Sorsha, I mean it. You are such a sweetie pie. You are a sweetie pie. Grapes on Vines. Oh, this is your favorite game. That's so cool. Awesome. I'm glad it turned out that way. Thanks for checking on my VODs and stuff. I'm glad you've been enjoying the streams. And I'm glad you chatted in this one. It's good to see you. Interest level sets how much you like them. There are 4 levels: disinterest, fond, crush, and love. Love is only available in step 3 if you're fond, or crush in step 2. Okay. Comfort determines how you generally react when it comes to him. There are 3 levels: nervous, relaxed, and direct. Level interest will set the dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will influence the present. Aww, thank you for following Grapes on Vines. Thank you so much. And look at that, we got a follower goal met. It automatically does it. And I haven't been able to figure out how to set it to a higher goal. Because it's stuck at every 10. But thank you for following. Thank you so much. What you did in the past, well, you get to pick your interest, comfort, and boom. Your current level of interest will become the new lowest option at the screen in the future. For example, if you decide to be fawn, this interest will not be available. Okay, so you can't go back. You can't go, oh fuck, I hate you now. Yeah, that's right, I am close to 300 subscribers on YouTube. That's very true. And yes, I do remember the Weird Alpaca game. Let's see, interest level, physically interact. If you get along with one another, you can choose to touch him and, you know, general stuff. Pretty much general stuff. You love each other, it's mutual, you can touch each other. That's how life goes, or how it's supposed to go anyway. Let's see, if you're at crush or love, to make sure things initiate level. Okay. Basically, if you decide to like code, the game will force you to act on those feelings. Okay. You can always choose to not get together. If you choose to decide to date, you can't break up with him later. Okay. Okay. It's only the main character who's impacted by your decisions. Cope grows and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experiences will shape who he becomes. Step 2, Step 3 will be based on what happened in the previous step. That makes sense. This is all pretty much... Yeah, this is all pretty much common sense. Okay, creator option, making choices you want. Alright, add hell for those who aren't subscribed. Let's see, up here, yellow and blue. Colors aren't related to points or effects, they're just there to give good insight on tone of the emotion. Okay, blue tends to be casual, straightforward. Yellow, more emotive. Green, less certain and uncommitted. Though there are hundreds of options, not every choice falls in line with that pattern. Holy cow, how long did it take for them to make this game? Oof. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow, pursue romance right from the start, never the romance. Yep, you can do it all. Wait, what was... Let's see. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow, pursue romance right from the start. Never romance the love interest, be disagreeable or amiable. None of them will lead to a bad end. None of them will lead to a bad ending. Okay, I read that wrong. We hope you have a nice time. Thank you for playing. Okay, now we get to the thing. Yay! I guess I will try to make this as like, oh, the chubby face kind of cute. Peach. Chubby face kind of cute. My face kind of chubby. But yeah, there's so many options you can go with here. It took a while to make the game, and Dev's house burned down during the development. Holy shit. But yes, I am feeling a lot better from my headache, Shadow Killer. Thank you for asking. Let's see, eye shape round 2. Oval. Oh, look how this is so cute. I think I like that one. That one's good. That one's good. Okay, brown. I mean, mine's kind of like red. Yeah, mine is definitely more red. Let's see. We will go with my name and the last name. It doesn't matter if it's voiced. Hair front, curl. Curl's cute, flowy. Oh my god, you could just have like long ass hair. Locks. These are cute. Oh my god. Oh, that is so adorable. That is fucking adorable. I actually really like that one. Pulled back. Smooth. Choppy. The choppy might be good. Flowy. That one works. Short. Short works. So many options. It needs to be wavy. I like that one. That one's fucking crazy. I love. Oh yes, I love. I might want to check the voice names because if I leave it at default, everyone will call me Joey. Why is everyone gonna call me Joey? Oh, front color. Oh, well, that kind of already is my color anyway. Look at that. Look at that, chat. It already knows what I want. Oh my god. That is so cool, though. I love character customization. It rocks. We'll go with that, I think. Looking cute. If I don't choose a voice name, it doesn't call me anything, I don't think. Yes, I look like a little lion dog. Can I add, Oh, there's another page. There's another page. Hold on. Okay, birthmarks. Aw, I can get, like... Aw, scars, rosy cheeks, freckles. Hell yes, freckles. I've been waiting for these. Give me all of them. So cute. Hand size, medium, slender. Slender? I guess we'll go with slender. No glasses. Doesn't wear glasses. Alright, birthmarks. We don't have any. Freckles. I do have a birthmark, but it's not on my face. Or my arms. Or my legs. Ooh, on her arms though. Clothing types. Oh, okay. I can wear, like, all of these. I don't... Is this just what I can wear, what I cannot wear? I mean, I can wear hats too. Maybe not a watch. I never wear watches. I can wear all of those. Okay, I think we're done, chat. I think we're all done. Let me look at the eyes again. Nah, I like the ones that we have. Yeah, I like the ones that we got. I like the ones that we have. It's cute. It's cute. Cute. Yep, it's not me unless she has freckles. Unfortunately, my... I forgot to ask for freckles on my scrungle. I just remembered. But I'm too nervous to say anything. They're starting! Woo! Begin the prologue. Summer, and Sunset Bird with special time of year, your usual sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander off too far outside your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they most likely stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids that waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved, or asked how your family was. Most often just said hello. Let's see, you didn't get why they always had to say hi, but you nodded back at them. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people. You were too anxious to say hi to most... Let's see. I'm pretty out there nowadays. Oh, thank you for the nose boop, my goodness. Yeah, we're pretty exuberant. You enjoyed learning all about where they were visiting from, and hope to visit those places one day too. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wonder if he was ever a real person, or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you'd never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who was a total stranger, set up a lot of red flags. Your moms had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. Let's see, you hadn't been listening at the time, you thought it was okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you. Remember, it's okay to run away when you feel uncomfy. I mean, this one is very true. They mentioned some people are good to talk to, but other types... I mean, these are both true. I feel like... I don't know, I feel like this situation wouldn't necessarily make me uncomfy. Maybe as a kid, yes? Let's do the middle option. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt scared knowing he was blocking the way to your front door. You were pretty interested, wanted to know more. Let's do that one. You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past this unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met, and you stood in a shaky breath, your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump. But still, you didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of a nearby gate post, and his black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way toward you. Still unsure about I would smile. The man gives a grin of his own back. Oh hey, suddenly I am very comfy. You live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on the shorts and a stingray tattoo. You wonder if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Husband! I'm guessing you really like this person, huh? Yeah, I live here. I live right there. I'm just gonna say I live here. That's great! He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. Oh, he's bribing me. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? I mean, $20 is $20. Nothing bad, sorry. I should have, let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove. About your age. Cove. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. You thought that was pretty cool. But definitely the kind of name someone this guy would give their kid. Cove's dad. Cove's dad. In all Cove's dad. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that had been empty for a year. his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. For the gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Hibika, right? I met your moms earlier, and they told me you were 8, just like him, so... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. You're paying me to hang out with your son? Can you try to be friends with... Why are you paying me to hang out with your son? Just introduce us like a normal person. God. This guy looks too young to be a parent. I mean, if his child is 8, and, I mean, he could be in his 30s. He could be in his 30s. I can see that. He can be in his 30s or, like, late 20s, like, you know. And you just never know. Some people just look young. Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid, you'll like him. I don't like the fact that you want me to hang out with your son for $20. How bad is your child?
Do you mind?
But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. Felt kind of sorry for Cove. Do other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? Yeah, I do kind of feel sorry. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that. What do you say? Want to make a deal? I don't want the money. No, thank you. Sorry. Wait, did I just like... I just don't want the money.
Are you sure?
Aw, I just didn't want the money. I'd be friends with your kid without the money. And then change the request. I get it, you don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a visit? No money involved. I'd like that. Yeah, I want to meet him. His smile got bigger, his eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but... The dialogues are in different colors to symbolize what kind of answer that gives. So green, if I remember correctly, is supposed to be like cool and like direct. Or maybe that's blue. I know that yellow... Oh wait, no. Yellow is like more of an exuberant answer. But basically it represents the tone of each answer. Well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. But yeah, imagine his kid finding out. You did what? You offered $20 for someone to be my friend? Honestly, shitty parent. Yes, okay, thank you, Grapes. Blue, direct, yellow, enthusiastic. Green is indifferent. That's what the dialogue options mean. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Yeah. Definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends, but you were still gonna help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head. Paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now, I better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back and, that's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Hibika. So much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decide to check the hills behind your house. I bet he's right. Yeah, I bet he's there. Step 1, first sight. Oh, here it is. The chirping of crickles. The chirping of crickles. The sweet crickles. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore, and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. Let's see. You've always loved the ocean. You love to hear stories about the sea, merfolk. Yeah, this one. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself, if you had seen the flash of a shiny mermaid's tail at the distance. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you weren't alone. So you so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting on top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the tall grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you found a deer in the wild. Though a deer didn't have wavy eyebrows, huge glass, pink cast, sad frowns. I guess this is what we first notice. I'm gonna say green hair. But this new boy did. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. After a few more seconds, he took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show that you weren't scary. Oh, thank you for the head pats, Miss Valentine. Thank you. Hey, Space Cadet. Are you lost, baby girl? I'm gonna say hi. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at the sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining a few more. What's great about these little options is that they always get brought up earlier. It's super cool, but as someone with the experience, the replay amount... Oh, okay, yeah. But you know what? I like that there's a lot of options, and it makes the game very realistic. I've been excited to play this game for months. You don't understand. I'm just like, I really want to play this game, but oh god, jeez. I'm waiting for February. And now it's finally February. Is your crush always a boy in this game? There are others. There's DLC. But for right now, this is the only love interest that we have, is our childhood friend. You obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier said has stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How did you know that? I met your dad. I'm all-knowing. I'm all-knowing. That's a lie, tell the truth. Aw, I was being playful. Come on now. Okay, your dad told me who you were. Oh. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding him, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. You can't own a hill. Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, listen, this isn't mine. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy, with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that had covered this hill rocked back and forth, gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat of the afternoon sun. Why are you here? Why'd your family move? do that? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with vengeance. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him. And now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping his eyes at the back of his hand with the back of his hand before putting them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. No. Stop crying. Oh god. I'm just gonna say I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. Stop crying! Wow. It's like, oh man, I'm so sad. You could just stop crying. What the fuck? He felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You can imagine what it would be like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Hibika? Cove? Cove? Kids, where'd you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell him we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it, you have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to. It will be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not-bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You called out yourself. You waited silently with her. You tried to convince him. Let's see. Let's just try to convince him. Are you sure? You'd have to stay outside the whole night and sleep on wet grass. Before Cove could say anything else, you heard his dad's voice again, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. God, my moms are hot! Wait, did their hair colors change? Like, in accordance to what I look like? Good lord, why are they so hot? Like, God, she has a fucking nose. Oh my fucking god! I'm crushing over my own fucking moms. What the fuck is wrong with me? Hibika, you're here after all. Oh, mommy! This mom and this mommy.
And then I have to drink more water.
For my thirsty ass. Everyone in this game is so pretty, but yeah, their appearance is preset. Okay, good to know. I wasn't sure if they, like, changed the hair according to, like, what hair you chose or something. Like, if I was a test tube baby or something. You know, I don't know. I don't know. We've been at the park to check for Cove, and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. Now we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everyone acting like this is a big thing? No, we were just sitting in the grass. Ugh, thank God you're both fine. Of course this one would be Mommy. Were you two having fun out there? He looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. It's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. What the fuck? I'm gonna just say I like him. He nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Man, I can really taste the red 40 in that drink I have. Good thing Hibika knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness. Heading toward the neighborhood, you watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Cove's dad is secretly a stingray. Yeah, he just goes into the ocean every night. Tell you what. We'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show my stuff? Yeah, I'm gonna show my stuff. I'm gonna show my Yu-Gi-Oh collection. Then, okay. Both your moms laughed, the sound overlapping to a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you toward the path. Satisfied, and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, he followed you home. I mean, you followed them home. Choose your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel. It can change in later steps. Comfort. Relaxed, I think. Relaxed. Let's see, I don't think we have a crush yet. We just watched him cry. I mean, come on. We're gonna say fond. Yeah, fond, because we're friends. The fact you can decide whether you want to be friends to lovers, love at first sight, or even enemies to lovers. Yeah, that's super awesome. Yeah, that's super awesome. I was already so excited to play this just because of it's different. It's different than it's different than a lot of dating sims that I've played, where you can literally just kind of choose how the story goes. Like, it goes kind of the same way each time. You know you're gonna end up together somehow. But, like, how you end up together or how close you are is the main narrative. That's what drives the narrative, and I think that's super cool. Okay, so we're fond, relaxed, we're ready. At relaxed fondness, you won't be able to change it again until step 2. Yes. Okay. At the breakfast table the next morning, you finished your food faster than usual. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to play, but you stayed put. Yeah, even then you can just be friends. In fact, my Pookie, one of my friends, told me about that, and that's neat. You just don't see that. It's either all or nothing, and I'm glad that it just goes to show that there are different types of love. There's, you know, you can love each other platonically, you can just be friends and still care for each other without being romantically in love. And that's one of the beautiful things about relationships, is that there's all different kinds. And that's represented here. It's so nice. excited to see your new friend again, Hibika. Yeah, I am.
How sweet.
Oh my god, is that her voice? You're fucking sweet.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, and great for the aromantics as well, yes. With that said, are you done with your breakfast? I mean, I scarfed down. I don't know, I'm a fucking smart-ass piece of shit in this game. I don't know, am I? You just are down to the empty dish in front of you, raising your eyebrows dramatically.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see. Good job. Should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Hibika, could you get it? Wiggling out of your chair without pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Hey, Shisa family! Hey, Shisa family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room, and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him, and Mom and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. Let's see, you twisted the crystal bead bracelet, you twisted the flower bead bracelet. Oh, I like the flower one, because I'm all about flowers. Oh, good to know you're super lounging, Miss Valentine. Let's go play in my room.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There are lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, and a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. I drew that! Thank you. I don't. Me too. I did that. Cool. I smiled at him. You're proud of that particular piece of art, and you're glad he noticed it. It's two girls kissing. Just like my mommies. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. Let's see, you felt the atmosphere. You applied for the company. You hope you liked your room. You know, I'm glad for the company. Skywoot, how you doing? How you doing? It was nice to have someone to play with. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it, before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found at the beach.
Oh.
Huh. Got any driftwood in there? Dragging the box in the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think so. Yeah, see? Gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand.
Neat.
Neat. This is a good collection. You get the sense of Tona's voice that... Oh! Thank you so much for following! James Morningstar, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Welcome! Welcome, treasured Gasuto. Alright, I almost forgot. Shiloh's gonna be here today. Shiloh? Lizzie's friend. Or, like, her #1 fan, I guess? They're kinda gay. Do I have to see him? Oh, it's a boy. Never mind. It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine, but, you know. I mean, that's fair. Come on, check out my shell some more. I found this one under a piece of seaweed that washed ashore, and you pulled out a seashell after seashell, explaining where you've gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Let's see, scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied, lots of funny stories. Let's see. Nah, it'd be that one. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or the shells themselves, Cove listened to what looked like the full force of his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, and after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and then while showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden might be right telling Cove his dad was a part of it would be a bad idea. I'm sorry, chat. I can't read. Before you know it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. Why is everything so formal? The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought a box. The box of shells. Want to keep looking at them? Okay, but be careful. I will. You weren't sure if you could trust somebody with your treasures yet, so you stayed next to him while he opened the lid and peered inside. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh! Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one's the best of them. Let's see. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. That's my favorite too. You can take it. I don't want him to take it because I just met you. I want to show you my favorite. You reach into the box to take out the one you preferred. Cove looked on with interest. The two of you were sitting on the floor, looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lacey's friend? He nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. You'll be alright. He's here. We can't tell him to leave. He's only at our door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. My god, this is terrifying. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward and paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh is the least scary person. Shadow's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea. Let's go. Do you want to break your... No. I'll come with you. Hurry. They'll see where we're going. Are we actually gonna leave? He glanced back at you then nodded. The two of you made your way to the window together. Oh my god, we actually escaped! This is great. I love this. There wasn't much of a distance to clamber out by the time you landed into the bushes. You looked up to see that Cove was already taking off far away from the house. He wasn't that fast. You knew you could outrun him if he had to. He was fast. He was not that fast, but neither were you. At that speed, you weren't sure if you could go fast enough to reach him. Let's do that one. Cove! You ran as fast as your legs would take you, grass whipping around your ankles as you Oh my god, that is so descriptive of what it's like to run in tall grass. I used to run cross country, and oftentimes the grass would be like really, really tall. So the grass would like kind of like tangle around your leg. and like whip around it like just whip around. That is so descriptive. That is so accurate. Cautiously, Cove slowed to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know. Somewhere else. I just don't want to see. Hibika! You looked back and saw Shiloh huffing down the hill after you, the backpack he clutched bouncing all around along the way. Am I gonna save? I guess eventually. I'm gonna play this through despite the consequences. I want to see how it all plays out. I'll save when I end. What are you doing? Can I come? I should give him an accent. Me and all the homies are card-carrying Shiloh haters.
Hi.
Oh my god, he looks like that kid. Shiloh's cute, but he looks like that kid. That kid that you're like, oh god, here he comes. Oh, hi. Are you Cove?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Shiloh. Okay. Yep. Are we going back, or are we gonna play outside? Shiloh's eyes moved between you and Cove. The smile remained strong on his face. He got a tiny frown from Cove in response. You were just grateful he hadn't asked you why you had been running away. Fun fact, he's in the dev's previous game, and yeah. What's the yeah mean? Inside, we left the box on the floor. Right, my shelves and stuff. We have to make sure they're okay.
Okay.
Okay! I'm gonna give him the most annoying voice possible. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at beach things some more. We weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color. Kinda like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favorite? Not really.
What is?
Maybe green or blue. Might be yellow. Oh, those are cool. Oh, Shadow Killer, are you headed out? I'm glad you enjoyed the stream.
I guess.
I guess. There are better colors. Not sure. I like those colors too. I mean... I mean, I like different colors than those. Yeah, pink. I mean, I do like pink. I guess... Like, but I like purple. I like lavender purple. They're better colors. Says you. Oh, shush. You poked your tongue at a Cove, trying not to laugh when he did the same thing in retaliation. Oh! James Morningstar! Hello! I'm doing well. How are you? Glad you decided to follow. Thanks again. You poked your tongue at a... Okay, we read that already. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. I mean, that's fair. There are people like that. I'm one of those people, depending on the situation. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you, either.
Is Lizzie coming back?
I don't know.
Aw.
Aww. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach. Probably. Yep, this is my first time reading this. This is my first time playing the game. Kai Shoji. I haven't seen you before. How are you? It's good to see ya.
Is she playing at the park?
Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and then he looked toward you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement.
Really? You do too, right, Hibika? The park is fun!
The park is pretty great. I don't love it, but it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do. And lots of sand.
There's a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. I love the swings. The swings are my shit. Oh, and slides. I love slides. Yes, yes. I had a friend recommend this to me, and I have been waiting to play it for almost a year because I wanted to wait for February to roll around just to play this visual novel. I have been waiting specifically for the month of February because it's love month to play this game, and I have been like chomping at the fucking bit. You don't understand. When's the playground equipment tier list dropping? But yes, one of my friends recommended this to me. He raved about all the options, and it's honestly, it didn't sound like any visual novel that I had played before. Like in terms of options, it has options, but not like love interest options. It's got options in terms of like how the story goes. Fun run with all the DLCs, like 60. Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do a full run. I'll definitely return to the game, but like I just can't wait to fully experience the base game. I wanted to try the base game.
So we gonna find Lizzie?
It's one of my favorites, yeah. I think it's gonna become one of my favorites too. I also like how the first game Smelly showed me was the most disgust-worthy shit, and then there's this game which is just the other spectrum where it's all cute and wholesome and really nice. Because originally, when we first met, because we're co-workers, when we first met, we originally played Price of Flesh together. But we toggled off the sex scenes because that would have been awkward. We just met like a week ago. Oh, you found another one? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just wanted to check the park out. Adrift without any direction. Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced her moms that it was so short, she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie! Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Hibika! Shiloh! Hi! She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over the sand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was there. You wondered if he would leave too. Oh my god. Oh god, I'm gonna give you a bitch voice, because that's what you look like. Who is that?
It's Cove! He's new. Hi! I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. No one ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together.
She gestured widely, with her arms, as if to present the area to the newcomer. Without interrupting Lizzie's speech, Cove whispered in your ear, quiet enough that the others wouldn't overhear. I thought kids couldn't own places like parks or hills. I couldn't help but laugh a tiny bit. Oh, that's so cute.
And then I have to drink more water.
And I have to drink more water. More water for me. More water. Red 40, my favorite. And a big stretch. I swear, with you guys, when it rains, it fucking pours. Alright. Ooh, my back, my old back. I am but a hag. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wriggle your toes to the warm sand.
Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas.
You are?
Yeah, I am. Who else can handle the job? Lizzie's the oldest. By a lot. My mom said you're Hibika's age. Yeah. That's so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits.
What about other kids?
Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh's just visiting from another place.
Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal our youth. Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. Something in his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms, dads, grandparents?
Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids.
Why? We haven't done anything.
Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that, you're gonna upset them. Yeah, you're kind of being a bitch, actually.
You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. I don't know, he looks kind of annoyed, actually. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. Didn't even seem to care she was there. He went to his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation.
I met Lizzie and Hibika in school. We'll see tons of kids there once summer's over.
I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shiloh looked down in the dirt. Hadn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove.
I like summer vacation a lot too.
All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was. At something else entirely you really didn't know. But she laughed, her face scrunching up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. You offered him a small smile and at least looked to reassure him some. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and then some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way the sun and lunch and the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he always seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things. Wow! I can select? Could I play all of these? And then summer ended. Shopping? Come back here before it gets dark, alright, sport? The familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail, even watching slowly across your pavement. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off of his face from where the breeze was blowing over his glasses. I'd like to think his hair was maybe once blonde, and then he went into the pool, and it was really bad, and he didn't wash it, and then it turned green for like the rest of his life. He looked only to be paying a mild amount of attention, as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. Reminded you when you first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Damn. Oh, there's sometimes moments we'll reference another if you do them this bit. That's so cool. That's so cool. God, this game is so intensive. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe he made a noise, because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved over to you with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you felt a little weird getting caught. You gotta learn how to be more sneaky. You brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two, smiling at Cove first and then his dad. Hibika, hi.
How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Hibika? Taking a walk. I found some pretty cool snail across the road. There's a lot of snails around here. Oh, they're working on a second game. That's so cool. I think Smelly told me about that one. The second game. I think you did. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with the folding bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun, you know? Cove is about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him? He gave a ready nod, turning to squint in the direction of the stores, like you could see the goods they had to offer all the way from where you stood. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't mind. Great. I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket, pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. He found it odd, since your moms only seem to have cards in theirs. He's a stripper. Here. He leaned to pass a crisp 10 over the Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend, too. Sure.
Good kid.
That's my boy. Impress the ladies with his wad of cash. Cove's dad ruffled his son's hair as he was straightening back up. The bill in his hand still held out toward the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then with one
I have to drink more water.
Then with one last nod, he had to drink more water and started walking. Nom nom nom. You followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Cove strayed toward the gentle tide creeping up in the sand, and he fell into the place beside him. It was a nice day, the sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind was coming off the ocean, kept it from being too hot. Oh god, that's so nice. I do like the beach. I like the beach. Miss the beach sometimes. You took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of salt and ocean air. And my dog barked wildly at something that didn't exist. Sorry guys, I was just calming down my dog. It's okay, bud. Oh, that's my boy. He's a good boy, yeah, he go woo woo. He go woo woo. His eyes searched the ground intently. He's looking for shells. You didn't feel the need to ask why. Are you looking for shells? Cove startled a little at the sound of your voice and mumbled, sort of. If you can see any, you can let me know. You could manage that. You dropped your view to the sand, walking carefully so you didn't step on any. You were good at finding shells. You were a Hufflepuff after all. You were particularly good finders. You had a lot of them at home, and always found new ones whenever you visited the beach. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence with a pleasant white noise. And you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. Oh, I love that game. I love that game. You like follow the tide. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in more than a few times. And although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. You didn't either. What did you want to go to the shops for? What do you usually do on the beach? Well, I guess I would wonder what he's doing at the shop. I need a new sand pail. Why was he handing you dollars and dollars for a sand pail? What happened to your old one? Cove narrowed his eyes, seeming to think deeply for a second.
Well...
It disappeared. What? Really? Cove ducked his head down, lacing his fingers behind his back. Didn't seem like he was gonna continue, so he nudged his arm. How did that happen? Well, Cove opened his mouth and shut it again, considering. I took it to the beach one day. Uh-huh. When I got home, it wasn't anywhere. You left it there? Nope. It wasn't on the beach when I went back. And you lost it. It disappeared. What about you? What do you do out here? I like looking at fish. I like to build sandcastles. I like to build sandcastles. Yes. Yes. Sand pail costs more because of inflation. Yes. Times is hard. Times is hard. We're talking about lowering the price of eggs, but what about sand pails? Last summer, Lizzie and I built one that was as tall as me, and sometimes they have sandcastle building competitions down by the boardwalk. Cool. I bet you could win. You smiled at Cove. Maybe the two of you would build one together one day. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day, the call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there are other scents too now. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. Oh, I love donuts. It was nice. It was not very nice. What do you mean? It was alright. It was nice. The energy surrounding the area seemed to fill you, and there was a bounce in your step as you began looking at all the familiar sights. There were so many things to do. You didn't know where to begin. He looked at Cove, hoping he was just as excited as you are. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other, with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near a few tables, with the large, colorful umbrellas blooming from their middles. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander! In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat, and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. 3. And there was a little table next to him, with the cloth hanging over it that read The Amazing Alexander, in glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on the sign? Cove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. Maybe we could stay and watch. Cove glanced back at the man, then briefly lifted his arms up off his side before returning them into place. He grinned, waving for him to follow as you raced back to stand in the crowd. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a 4 of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his fingers, and the card just disappeared. Whoa! The amazing Alexander, who earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Tell me. Nothing. You backed away. Tell me. This had to be going somewhere, and you needed to find out. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer. It was great! Wow. Next he's gonna shove me in his white van. You felt a tug. Then he pulled the 4 of diamonds out from behind your ear. What? You knew that could have really come from your ear, but you still didn't know how he did it. There was a light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump. tied down by his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin, instead of being a normal circle. And one for your friend too. Thank you for being my assistant. Wow. Now you were really grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with the cards. Cove spoke plainly while reaching over to take the dolphin that had been designated for him. Cove was ruining the fun, at least you had a fun time. You wondered if Cove's whole family was magic. If so, he was lucky. The crowd started to clear some, and you noticed to the side there was a whole rack of brightly colored kaleidoscopes on display. Picked up a magic 8 balls, actually. I like them. Oh, these are cool! You shifted your balloon string to the other hand so you could hold it up in front of you. Then you thought of a question in your mind, shaking the ball and hearing some kind of liquid slosh around inside of it. Oh, I see, Azao. You can't sneak away from me. She. Concentrate and ask again. Fantastic. I love getting that answer. Such a wonderful answer. You wrinkled your nose and set the magic 8 ball back on the rack as your nose was booped by Livy. It wasn't the answer you were hoping for. You followed Cove around to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. Let's see, did you have places like this? Are you having fun? I really don't like it here. You said nothing. Let's ask this. I'm curious. Cove blinked at you for a moment, and you wondered if you shouldn't have asked. You knew how much he missed that place. Damn. I got boy blasted. Not really. He nodded in understanding, looking over at the stalls nearby. Cute! I like the dolphins! While Cove looked at sand pails, you were drawn to a table with colorful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read "Handmade" standing out proudly in front. There were lots of different types. You saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, and a turtle. I like the dolphin. The dolphin is cute. Your hand stopped on the dolphin. So similar to your balloon animal. It was made up of a bright material that caught the sunlight when you picked it up. Woolly blast! Nothing like a nice little woolly blast. You remembered once seeing a pod of dolphins swimming out into the distance at the beach, jumping out of the water and splashing as they dived back in again. That was a great day. You were instantly enamored. Checking the price though, your heart fell. $6. You didn't know much about money, but you thought that was a lot to spend on one thing. It is a tourist trap, my dear. You rarely had more than a $5 bill to your name. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh, it's $6. Oh, shit, I passed it. It's fine. Really? Are you sure? Hooray, you don't have to. I don't want you to get it for me. Do that one. Cove took the keychain from your hands, and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself, too. I was gonna get you something. I already had the money for it. You smiled, pleased to have things work out. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you, too. You had to remember to thank him next time you saw him. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store, side by side, your balloon dolphins knocking together and spiraling around in the air. You watched Cove hold up his new pail to his face, examining it thoroughly. Oh, head pats! Thank you, Vixen! Thank you! Hey, Cove! Yeah? You gives out a lot of money, huh? I really like this keychain. I'm not gonna talk about his dad. Jesus. Thank you. It's nice. Cove looked further down the street, where different food carts were lined up. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach, and just as he did yours, let out a light growl. He hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all of this wandering about, you were definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah. You two wandered around a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Everything looked delicious, and as the different smells, both sweet and the scrungle time was over. Yay! This is the real me. This is me. I'm back in my own skin. Wafted over to you, your stomach growled even louder. After passing up hot dogs and getting booped, snow cones, ice cream, and pizza, you both agreed on pretzels. Cove got something sweet and cinnamony. Oh, my kind of guy. I love the cinnamon pretzels. And you got the same. I like the same. Yeah, I don't like the cheese. I like cinnamon and sugar. You licked your lips hungrily as the vendor handed your pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. Your moms didn't like you to eat too much sugar, but this was a special occasion. Oh, look, a nerdy Zoro. Kind of, it needs the edgy Piccolo voice. I don't think I can do the edgy Piccolo voice. Besides, he's just a kid. Just a kid. That little cup of icing looked too delicious to pass on. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grit of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. These balloons are gonna make it hard to eat. Cole placed his bucket on the table as he stared at his still balled-up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. Wait, are we gonna tie the balloons to the bucket? I know! After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere where it gets sandy, you tugged the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied it to a delicate bow. Oh, we're doing this! Into a delicate bow around his wrist. Aw, good night, Livy. I hope you sleep well and have sweet dreams. Oh! Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching his balloon jostle around but remain attached, he smiled satisfied. Flaming Wooly! You're presenting Wooly with flames! Can you do it for me? He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the cast restricting his fingers, and the string already tangled around the other. Got it. Dark Lord Wooly. The two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork, both hands now free, to allow easy munching on your pretzels. You bit into the doughy treat, savoring the taste on your tongue with a smile as you looked out over the ocean. After a time you finished your pretzel. You were done before Cove. It was boring not having anything to do. You pulled on the string of your balloon to bring it down to your level. Then, you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to look like it was jumping through the air. If you turned your face toward the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the waves, like a real dolphin. Oh, to be a child. Oh, to be a child. Wow! This is the first time you're chatting, Vixen? Oh my goodness, what an event this is. A laugh came from your side. When you glanced back at Cove, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on the wrapper, and he was gripping his dolphin too. Hehe. Splash the star in movies. Mine's Cherry. She's actually an alien. I like this one. He wears a crown made of seaweed, and all of his friends are merfolk. Every now and then, he'll make friends with a kid and let them ride on his back. You sighed, wishing he could meet a real dolphin like Merryweather. You speak no longer mute. Oh my goodness! Such a privilege. What's yours? Cove reconsidered the question. Or Cove considered the question, placing the balloon against the table, resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh no! No, no, no! Oh no! For a second, all Cove did was gape in shock like you. No, don't cry. Oh, honey. No, honey. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw tears start to glide. No! I'm not gonna joke. Have my balloon. You didn't say anything, you'd be all, what a dick move. You looked at Cove, then at your balloon, bobbing it gently in the air above you. You can have mine. That was better than letting him cry more. Cove sniffled, glancing up at the balloon, then back at you. A dolphin for a dolphin! You gave me a dolphin keychain, so I'm gonna give you my dolphin balloon. No. It's yours. I don't want to take it from you. It's okay, really. Cove shook his head. Even though it wasn't your fault, you still felt bad. The offer seemed to lift Cove's spirits, and that was good. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event of your adventure. I want to be a child. In the end, you two headed back late that afternoon. You separated on the beach, and while Cove went straight home with his brand new sand pail in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves and the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It'd been a good one, except for the sad final note. Okay. Grown up, long days, sandcastle, fireflies. I wanted fireflies. Ah! Okay. Alright, tonight we're gonna catch fireflies. At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from their macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance to the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy, so you knew there were bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, you are you? You started eating faster. Yeah. A grin curved to your lips as you started to eat a bit faster, excited for what was about to come. It seemed like you were too excited, however, as you started to choke and cough on your face. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's so me. Just... Mommy reached over to pat you on the back, firmly helping to dislodge the noodles and enable you to breathe again. You took a big gulp of water from your glass, giving your mom's a sheepish look. Oops.
That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Mrs. Shisa?
Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally, she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your moms know she'd be late. You didn't hear why. Probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over, so that's why you were pretty sure she'd get her moms to agree. Well, it is already dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited for their response. Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look. Then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Yes! Along with Lizzie's cheers, you threw your arms up in triumph, but waited until you finished chewing to say anything because you knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full. Fine, fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay? Duh, Mom. That's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but you already could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you, like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy read sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table now. That's right, if somebody died, we'd have to cancel the Firefly trip after all. Mom said it like a joke, but you knew that they were both telling you kids to slow down. Shiloh did immediately. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth.
Jeez.
No one's gonna die. Sheesh. A knock at the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold her sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was. Huh? You shifted in your seat, trying to get a glimpse of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's floppy hat. Oh, Cove! Hi, you're here. Cove smiled at your enthusiastic greeting, and you hoped Mommy would ask him to stay. Didn't matter why he was there, it meant he could join you in all the catching fireflies. Then for a few seconds, Cove said nothing, only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket. Eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks. Bye!
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged, and Mom stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call and let him know you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him. Hi, Cove. Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Let's see, are you gonna catch fireflies? You could come with us if you want to. Yeah, let's go. You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. An outsider? We've known Cove for a while. You hoped Cove would say yes. That way you wouldn't be the odd one out with Lizzie and Shiloh anymore.
Yeah.
I can do that. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies ran out when he first moved in, and there must have not been anywhere where he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What'd you have? Eggs. That's such a dad thing. All dads know how to cook eggs. That's my dad right there. He cooks everything egg. Ask him to cook anything. He can barbecue and he can cook eggs. That's my dad. The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you could stay a little while if you'd like, but he's gonna come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun. This'll be so nice. As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Shiloh trailed so closely after Lizzie, he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. Coming? After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Bye, children. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie, and Shiloh, by the time you walked outside, pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get farther and farther away.
Hurry up! You're so slow, Hibika. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. Tugged him along. Let's go! You reached out first for his cast arm, then corrected yourself and grabbed his other instead. He stumbled a bit at your pull, but went along easily enough after he got his balance. When you arrived at the hill with Cove in tow, your eyes widened at the beautiful sight. There were a lot of fireflies out, glowing against the backdrop of the dark sky. Lizzie was already standing on top of the hill, and Shiloh was running around toward the middle. Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hi guys! It's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sound escaped you and Cove looked at you in confusion. What? You gestured to his head, and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped, then followed after the glow. Oh, look! Lizzie has one. That's amazing! Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. Let's see. You had a bandage on your thumb. You had a bandage on your palm. 2 bandages? God. You were not good at getting cuts. You were good at not getting cuts in street. Okay. You know what? I currently have a cat scratch on my palm. So we will go with that. We will go with that. It was from work. Spotting one close by, you approached it with an assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm, almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in delight. Its tiny little legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Cove watched it vanish in the thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. You did your own things, you encouraged him to try again. Stand to try again. You'll get the next one. Did you catch one? You nodded, and Cove gave up his hunt for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insect still crawling across your palm. You held out your hand, and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug, as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. We'll stay still because we don't want to scare the firefly, right? The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the... Yes! Yes, the game gets it. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Oh!
Self-voicing enabled.
Oh, what?
The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off.
No! Oh my god! That scared the piss out of me! Oh my god.
Self-voicing disabled.
No, stop! Aww. Oh, my freckles! Damn, I didn't know I had that many down my arm. The Firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up onto Cove's hand. Why does Cove have a hand like that? What? I'm sorry, I know this is supposed to be a really cute moment, but why does Cove's hand look like a full grown-ass man's hand? The Firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up onto Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. It worked! Yeah, you got one! Cove's lips turned up into a slow smile, and his eyes shined brighter than the bug. Thanks, Hibika. Cove-ass man's hand? With a laugh, he gave the palm of your hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward low five. Damn! Ruined the mood, bro. Startled by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your Firefly was gone. Oops. Sorry. You not cry. I'm not gonna cry over that. That's okay. I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right. Bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another. Uh-huh. We can work together. His face broke out into a wide grin. We'll get a punch. With renewed vigor, he ran out into the hill. You're not sure how much time passed while you were out in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you had caught. Once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill, with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. Hibika, this way! You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching with his fingers and only narrowly missing the target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying for himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success, with the both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Eventually, the fireflies began to thin out, and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily, and his face seemed really flushed. That was fun. A lot of fun. You smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Hibika, Cove, get up here. We're gonna have a race. The shouting caught you off guard. It had been a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see them both, standing on top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning to you with a quick hand. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming as well. You didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi! Hi, Cove. You can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. Wow, that's ass. You did this on purpose. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time it got in the way tonight. What? Yeah, you'll watch and see you get to the bottom first. That's important. Got it?
I guess.
The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee. But it was already decided. Let's see, you know what? I'll just stay with Cove. I'm not...
Really?
My sister's a bitch. I don't want to do the raid. My sister's a fucking bitch. It's okay.
I want to watch. You went beside him on top of the hill, even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. That's not how races work. We need only one referee. Shrugging your shoulders, you refused to budge, and Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands into the air. Cove could 1v1 her with the cast if he put his might. Yeah, he totally could. He could definitely one-shot her with the good arm. He could probably push her down the hill. Fine, I'll be the winner, whether you join or not. Your competition isn't stiff, just letting you know. Lizzie moved to lay down, and Shallow did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point, and you stood next to him. Countdown! Cove stood up a little straighter. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed toward the bottom of the hill. You and Cove leaned forward to watch him go. Eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. They were both neck and neck, until about halfway down the hill. Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. She obviously hadn't noticed a thing, and as soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly and threw his hands in the air. I won! Almost immediately, he fell back onto the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stomped out of the bush she had ended up in, sputtering angrily, and brushing leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad. You got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in. No! You snickered, feeling grateful you hadn't been part of the mini debacle. You caught Cove's eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, down your neighbor's street, discussing the evening, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a good time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. Aww. And then summer ended. We did two things. I might do, like, one more thing. Let's see. Let's do grown up. One sweltering summer day, you were in your living room with Cove, listening to the sounds of the birds chattering outside the window while you lay across the rug on the floor. Cove's dad had dropped him off earlier, and your mom set up the two of you along with Lizzie to play amongst yourselves. It had been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, at least according to Mommy, so your sister was starting to get impatient waiting for her golf class that evening. Well, that would make sense for the DLC to be a little better than the base game. Seems like they had more time to put thought into it. But I would be curious to see how the DLC is. It's fun to play base game though, just to kind of see like how it started. The three of you had had trouble finding something to do. The beach and the playground were off limits, and you felt that it was too warm for anything, like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. Then suddenly, a light came to Lizzie's big brown eyes, and her smile spread across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. Since we're stuck inside, we should be adults. They don't play outdoors anyways. They're always inside and telling everyone they're too busy to play. Damn! I feel called out. Actually, no. No, I don't. If I have the chance to go out with my friends, I take it. Because oftentimes I'm inside or, you know, doing something like cleaning the house. Oh, God. Oh, chat. This weekend I get to go to Chili's with my Pookies. I'm so excited. I get to go to Chili's. I fucking love Chili's. Ah, Chili's. Why? I said why, and it'll be fun. Duh. What do they do inside that we don't, besides use the phone a lot? Excluding a small huff, Lizzie decides to ignore Cove.
What do you think?
Hibika, what do you think? Do you want to? I bet we could come up with something else. I don't know. I want to. Well, I mean, that doesn't sound like fun. But I don't want to just agree with Cove. I want to come up with something else. But that's what I'm gonna do. And it's not
And
as...
then I have to drink more water.
And then I have to drink more water. It's not as fun as when I play Pretend Adults by myself. Do you do that a lot? What's it to you? Looking at Lizzie, it seemed Cove felt he could understand where she was coming from, and he sighed. Do you really not want to play, Hibika? It was clear he wanted some way out, but still felt guilty about it. Well, if I'm gonna stay, it's best not to insult it, because then why stay if you're just gonna be a bitch about it? I hope this is as fun as you're promising it'll be. Lizzie looked at you, deadly serious. It is the most exciting idea I've had all week. Satisfied that neither of you were about to bail on her, Lizzie thought over her options while you watched. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed at you, apparently having settled on something without asking either of you. Okay, I'm gonna be a professional golfer. Hibika, you and Cove can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnast, or a tennis player. Why can't we pick anything we want? Because I have a fun idea. That's why. And we have to play sports as adults. Yep. But there's other kinds of sports too.
Right?
It isn't the same. What do you think, Hibika? Don't those choices sound super cool? Wanna be that, huh? No. Maybe not. I kinda like those. It really doesn't. Lizzie pouted, resting her hands on her hips and tapping her foot impatiently. Well, too bad. I made the plan, and you're a part of it, so choose one already. Cove was not impressed with Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking more about it for now. You thought over the list of possibilities: beach volleyball, gymnastics, or tennis. Out of all of them, you'd prefer to play... Well... Let's see... Honestly... I used to do gymnastics, so I'll do gymnastics. When I was a kid, I did gymnastics, so I guess in this playthrough, since I am a kid, I would do gymnastics. If you couldn't spend the afternoon doing cartwheels and handstands in the backyard, then you might as well practice them inside. There wouldn't be as much space as there was outside, but you could still try. Yes, that was clearly the top option. Okay, I'm gonna be a gymnast. Alright. How about you, Cove? I picked volleyball. I should have known. Okay, so, Hibika, you're a famous gymnast, and Cove, you're on a popular beach volleyball team, and... Lizzie's ponytail bobbed when she proudly stretched her arms wide. We're Olympic athletes who just competed in the Olympics. Cove didn't seem all that impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted the glasses on his nose. That's really specific.
Rude.
That's what makes it fun. Anyway. Lizzie marched back and forth in front of the both of you, getting lost in her own imagination. I want all gold medals, and people are calling me the next Mickey Wright. Who's that? Lizzie stopped on the spot and turned on him, her brown eyes shining with impatience. It doesn't matter if you know who she is. It's a golf thing. You guys won medals too. Cove, your team was bronze, and Hibika, you barely missed out on the gold and got silver. It's more real if we're not all first place. Yeah, I don't... She is definitely the bossy kid. She's definitely a bossy kid.
She's like Angelica in the Rugrats. Give me that vibe. Silver sucks. I don't want Silver. Hey, we can do better than Silver. Silver's not bad. We can do better than Silver. You pouted at Lizzie. I'm happy with that decision. Hibika's right.
Sorry.
Lots of people lose at the Olympics. Them's the breaks.
Then you're the one who did, not me. Lizzie looked taken aback by Cove's declaration, as though the thought of her losing was completely absurd. No way. It would make sense. I'm already practicing my golf game. She took a golfing stance to make her point, pretending to swing her club to hit an invisible ball. So, what kind of house do you want to live in? Cove hadn't changed his mind about winning. Thinking about where he'd live as an adult appealed to him, apparently, because he looked back at Lizzie with some of the anger fading. I'm gonna live on the beach. Lizzie made a face at him, poking out her tongue. That's kind of boring. We already have that. No, not like the normal houses here with the street. On it. Right on the sand by the water. Just like that, all the tension was back. You hadn't even the chance to choose where you'd want to live. That's not very fun or smart, Cove. You can't live on a bunch of sand and shells. But I want to, and I will. Cove narrowed his eyes at Lizzie, even though she stood a half a head taller than him. You didn't give out a list of things to pick from this time, so I'm picking that. Why are we even playing pretend if I can't imagine anything? Jeez. Well, I'm going to live in a mansion far away from here, and far away from you. One with an indoor pool, and a place to practice my award-winning golfing.
It's not fair.
How come you were yelling about mine when your idea is even more impossible? Lizzie's face flushed red, her hands balling into fists at her sides. It's not impossible, and it's better than yours. Disagreements always seemed to crop up between the two of them when they were together, and you always felt like you were stuck in the middle. But when it came to the topic at hand this time, you thought, You wanted to, Cove was right, you were tired of deciding between any of them. Being on the beach was cool. I mean, it is cooler than being in a mansion. I don't think I'd want to be in a mansion because mansions are too big, and I get anxiety if my house is too big. I used to live in a pretty, big house, and that kind of gave me anxiety because it was so big. I get lost in it. That and walking around at night for a cup of water, you can forget it because I felt like a monster was around every corner. At least when I was a kid. Maybe the house wasn't that big. Maybe I was just tiny. Who wouldn't want to live on the beach? It'd be really great. Take me to the beach. You could have windows made from driftwood and seashell wind chimes. Ugh. He smiled slightly over the agreement, then turned to Lizzie with bolstered confidence. When you wake up to go to the bathroom in the mansion and realize it's on the other side of the building, fuck it, we ballin', I'm pissing out the window. You can swim whenever you want if you live on the beach. We can still swim anytime we want from where we live now. Being a little closer doesn't mean anything. Says you. The two of them scowled at each other. You're being so unreasonable. I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make any sense. It does. You have to be realistic. I said that. But you're not. You had no idea what to do to make them stop at this point. It seemed like the two of them would just keep working each other up as long as they could. Nothing you said so far to keep him from being mad. Thankfully, like a greeting card angel, Mom walked into the room. Lizzie rushed over to her, hanging onto the hem of her skirt and poking her tongue out at Cove. Cove's house would probably have a slide that you can just go out the window directly to the... like a fucking water slide. It's pretty. Lizzie? Hibika, it's time to get ready to go. Sorry you have to leave her already, Cove. Their mommy said she'll walk you home, so you won't be left out in the cold. Cove was still glaring at Lizzie, his face flushed red with anger. I can go by myself. But... Bye, Hibika. There was still a harsh edge to the brief farewell, but you knew it wasn't at you. Without giving Mom a chance to stop him, Cove stood up and stalked out of the room, shoulders drawn tight. Okay? Worried, Mom turned down to look at you and Lizzie. You two were playing nice with our new friend, weren't you? We're playing pretend, and things got intense. They were like cats and dogs. Your sister's jaw dropped, looking betrayed as Mom put both hands on her hips. Elizabeth! I told you to be nice to him. He's having a hard time right now. Lizzie's mouth closed back up, replaced with a tiny frown. I know, I tried, but he was... No buts. We both know you can show someone a great time when you put your mind to it. We are going to apologize to Cove and his dad over the phone when he gets home from work tonight. Lizzie hung her head, dragging a foot across the ground in front of her. Okay, Mom. Good girl. You caught pieces of Lizzie sulking to herself about how it was his fault too. But it was over. Ah, right. We better get a move on.
Let's go.
Let's go, kids! Nolani? Nolani? Oh, that must be their other mom. Where'd you leave the car keys? Damn, look at that fucking interior. Is that a stick shift? Oh no, it's a Prindle. Mom hustled you all out the door, and you noticed the car ride to golf practice that Lizzie was quieter than usual. She was usually the first one to request which music to listen to in the car, but she didn't say a thing. Your parents noticed she wasn't in a mood to be bothered. They gave her space, and Mommy just asked you what you'd like to listen to. Ooh! Favorite song? I want my favorite song. Eventually, Lizzie came around and started singing with you. Ooh, you both all knew the words, and your moms even sang along too. Always be yourself. That's the lesson. When the car ride was over, you think the part of the story happens in 2004 or something, and if that's, then the car is really high-end. Yeah, it looks very high-end. That's for sure. They must be loaded. And golf practice too, holy shit. When the car ride was over, you spent the twilight hour watching Lizzie hit things with other girls her age. So, you didn't know much about golf, but you could tell she really liked it. So you sat with your moms and tried to puzzle it out. It was nice sitting outside after being cooped up in the house all day, and you stretched out your legs to let the last few minutes of sun warm your skin. When the sun was finally out of sight, dipping behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Yeah, they must have pretty nice... I wonder what they do. You have to... They must be, like, doctors. I can picture one being, like, a doctor. The other one's a lawyer or something. Instead of going straight home, your moms took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant you had been going to ever since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting that you hadn't been able to stop, but you could kind of tell that this all helped Lizzie be less angry. The car ride home was quiet, with only the radio providing escape from the silence. Lizzie had been in better spirits now, but the closer you got to your neighborhood, the more she wiggled in her seat and frowned out the window. She knew what was coming when you all got back home. Clearly, she was dreading it. Soon enough, Mom was turning onto your street, then reversing into the driveway, Oh, she's the type to back in. Damn. Once she cut the ignition, it was dead silent. No one spoke, only unbuckled their seatbelts and opened their doors. Lizzie was the last one out. Once everyone was inside and done taking off their shoes, she propped her hands on her hips.
So,
Now then, Mr. Holden's car is in his driveway. So, he should be back from work. That's good news, isn't it, Elizabeth? You and Cove can hash things out before the day is done. And this is an era before backup cameras too. Yeah, she used her mirrors and everything. Lizzie didn't complain or put up a fight. Her head ducked so she didn't have to meet anyone's eyes. She nodded once. Good. Let's move this to the kitchen. Mom went over to the house phone, the rest of you following behind her. Mommy put a gentle hand on Lizzie's shoulder as they walked side by side. You watched them from the back. This was only happening because you told on Lizzie. What? Lizzie was being a bitch. Why are you putting this on me? I told the truth. I'm not gonna lie. I don't regret it. No, I don't feel guilty. I didn't like doing it, but had to. It was her fault for doing it in the first place. I mean, a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of her fault. So, I have no regrets. You hadn't done anything wrong by telling the truth. It wasn't like Lizzie was going to say it on her own. The four of you stood around the kitchen in a lopsided square. Exactly. Only did it because it told. Nah. Take responsibility. Learn to apologize. All eyes were on Lizzie. She needs to learn humility, and this is how it happens. They're not being cruel to her, and that's the important part, but she is doing what's right. You remember the number for Cove's house, don't you, honey? Lizzie jerked her head, and another nod, sullen. Without further prompting, she stepped forward and she began to dial. Damn! Look at that! Look at that phone! I had a landline like that when I was a kid. Mom reached over and pressed a button on the base. Suddenly, you could hear the phone ringing. She turned on the speaker. The phone rang a couple times, then stopped. Mr. Holden's warm voice came through the other end. Evening, Holden residence. Lizzie looked over at Mommy, unsure. She nodded encouragingly. Hi, it's Mr. Holden. It's Lizzie. Can I talk to Cove?
Absolutely.
Lizzie Shisa. No, she doesn't deserve that name. Lizzie Shisa? What a surprise. But of course you could say hey to the boy. He sounded cheery as usual, though definitely meant it when he said it was a surprise. You thought hard, and you were sure that your sister had never called Cove's house before. Mom spoke up before Mr. Holden or Lizzie could say anything more. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her lips pursed. Hi, Cliff. Nalani, Ibika, and I are here too. Good evening. We're sorry to bother you so late. Hi, Mr. Holden. The gang's all here, huh? Something the matter? His voice grew a bit concerned. Mommy was quick to reassure him. No, well, yes, but it's going to be okay. Lizzie and Cove just got into a bit of a fight today. We were hoping that the two of them could talk and make up. Is this a good time for you and Cove?
What?
A fight? Cove didn't tell me anything about that when I came home. Does explain the funk he's been in tonight. He chuckled lightly. Despite that, it didn't seem like he really thought it was funny. Anyway, it's good you didn't catch us at a bad time. I'll go grab him for you. There was something shuffling on the other end. It must have not gotten far, because you could still hear him calling out. Cove? There's someone on the phone for you. After a beat of silence, there was more muffled talking from Cove's dad. Come on, bud. Lizzie called just so she could talk to you.
Are you?
Ibika's on the other end listening too. Don't you want to say hi? Took a bit of back and forth, though the conversation seemed one-sided since you couldn't hear Cove properly. Eventually, Cove took the phone from his dad.
Hi.
Hey, it's Lizzie. Yeah, I know. Dad told me. Cove's tone was defensive. Lizzie turned to Mom, scowling. One stern look from her, though, and Lizzie turned to, "Why the fuck are you scowling? You little...
Sorry.
I just called to say I'm sorry for not playing nice with you today.
And then I have to drink more water.
And now I have to drink more water as a punishment. I won't do it again." Water. Thank you. She was still being genuine about feeling bad. Cove must have realized that too, because he sighed quietly. Me and Hibika should get gold too. Tried to go gremlin mode at the last second. Yeah. Lizzie was momentarily stunned, silent by the demand. She probably forgot that it even happened already. Alright, we all win the gold. Okay, I guess I'm sorry too. A sense of relief washed over everyone at his acceptance of the apology. Mom uncrossed her arms, while Mommy's shoulders relaxed. Lizzie's eyebrows raised up. He wondered if she had thought he'd refused her apology. Dad, can I get off the phone now? You couldn't see him, but it was obvious that Cove felt awkward about the situation. He'd come off uncomfortable the entire time, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back to your room if you want. Be sure to say goodbye first. Bye, Lizzie. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Hibika. He perked up at the mention of your name. You smiled, even though he couldn't see it. Bye, Cove. With that, Cove must have handed the phone to his dad and left, since Mr. Holden spoke up.
That's a relief.
All's well that ends well, as they say. Thanks for arranging this. I'm sure he appreciates this. As Mom replied, Lizzie tugged on Mommy's hand to catch her attention. Can I go now, too?
Good job.
Sure, sweetie. Thank you very much for apologizing to Cove. Mom flashed a brief smile at Lizzie and nodded her agreement. Given permission to leave, Lizzie scurried off toward the stairs. She seemed to be feeling much better with the incident behind her. Mom and Mommy returned to the phone, taking it off the speaker. They continued talking to Mr. Holden. You couldn't tell what about. You were glad it was the end of it all? Lizzie and Cove might not get along. They probably still won't, but they weren't mad at each other anymore. Mom and Mommy weren't upset either. Everything was finally back to normal. With that thought, you retreated to your own room with a spring in your step. Yay! I didn't do anything wrong! Yay! I mean, I might as well do all of these. What do sandcastle? Cove wasn't able to do as many things that summer. When you, him, and Shiloh sat on the shoreline on the bright morning, you could tell he wanted to be in the water. But there's no way he'd be swimming anytime soon. Not with his cast. The waves washed the single shell to shore, glittering and blue. Another reminder of the places he couldn't go. From what you'd heard about Cove's old life so far, in tiny pieces and fragments, just like his bones, you couldn't tell that he'd do anything to be able to get the cast off. Like, we'd make a pact with a witch or something, just to get it off his arm. You thought about how his summer last year must have been totally different from this, with his old home and his mom and dad. But now he was here. Not just like his bones. You caught that, huh? But now he was here, with you and Shiloh and Lizzie and everyone else, and he couldn't even go into the sea. This town wasn't bad. It had all of your favorite things in it, but sitting there on the same beach, you'd grown up.
You couldn't understand that not everyone else felt the same way about Sunset Bird as you did. You watched him from the corner of your eye quietly, and he finally said aloud what you've been pondering. I wish I could go in.
The water?
Yeah, dumbass.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna be able to do it soon.
Cove only sighed a response. Apparently soon wasn't soon enough.
It's so pretty. The ocean.
Mm-hmm. And huge. There could be anything out there. Like mermaids.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Swimming might be fun if we could. I'm fine here on land. Mermaids aren't... I'm not gonna tell him mermaids aren't real. I'm gonna say I wish he didn't have a cast. Me too. Obviously not interested in hearing much more of your input on the situation. Cove turned back into the water. But as he looked away, something about Shiloh's slow, careful movements caught his eye. Hey, are you building a sandcastle? Sort of.
Sort of. I was only playing around while you were talking. I'm listening.
Maybe I could too. I've only made big piles before.
It's really nothing special. I'm sure you could be good at it right away.
Tell some mermaids aren't... He probably wouldn't believe... Yeah, you're probably right about that. He would probably scoff and say that I'm lying. Shiloh's cheeks lit up. You could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable to have Cove's expectant stare on him. I'll play too. I love making sand stuff. I actually do. Yeah, I love making sand stuff.
Okay.
Put his hands back to his seashells and sand and nodded.
I don't do a lot. Here's how I like to get a house started.
Shiloh, focusing more intently you'd ever seen him, guided Cove through his process. You happily used your own method. It didn't take long for the three of you to have humble structures prepared.
That's all, kind of. You can do anything now, like make it bigger, add some seashells, carve a pretty pattern. I bet you'll have great ideas.
okay.
I'm gonna make it bigger. Mine's gonna be a real castle.
Cool! This is gonna be a house.
Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to make... I mean, mine always turned out looking like a castle. Like a regular castle, because I could just, like, poke out the holes with my fingers. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to build a fancy castle. The better part of your next hour is spent focusing on your own work. The boys were the same. Even Shiloh didn't sneak as many peeks at everyone as he usually did. That's pretty good. Seems you got done so fast because they already searched around for extra decorations. Shiloh had grabbed the most of the really interesting stuff, and Cove had a lot of the shells, but there are still options. The first thing you reached for was a... Oh, sea glass! I love sea glass! It was the best fit for your castle, you decided. It was see-through and sparkly. So you decided to put it in a funny place, where it'd take a second to see it. Pleased with your result, you finally took a proper look around that wasn't focused on the sand itself. Both Cove and Shiloh seemed super immersed still. You knew you could probably sneak a peek at either one's work. Let's look at Cove's. The castle Cove had built looked surprisingly tidy, especially for someone in a cast. He must have worked really hard. He wasn't even finished digging out a huge gaping moat in front, but it was already enormous. I love digging like moats around my sandcastle. I usually dug like something to lead to the sandcastle so that it would fill up. Did anyone like... For people that went to the beach, did anyone build a sandcastle next to the water just to build a dam and then see how long you could keep the sandcastle alive? Because that's what I would do with my older brother when we would go to the beach. It's like a... We called it like sandcastle tower defense. The silence was then broken. What's on the top of yours, Shiloh? You peeked closer and discovered something shiny sticking out of Shiloh's sand chimney. Oh, it's a gum wrapper. Looks just like smoke.
Neat.
That's good. That's smart. Ooh. Should be an architect. What kind of looks more like a worm? Yeah. You really know a lot about this. Shiloh smiled without a word. And that was that for the current topic. Hey, Pika, can I see what you did? Sure. He scooted just a bit nearer and began surveying your work. The castle you built was pretty impressive, all things considered. It had archways, tall walls, and even a little moat circling it. You would probably feel safe living there. Maybe your moms were the queens. Shiloh quickly decided to jump into the new conversation. Hey, Pika, what did you do? This is my castle. Shiloh didn't look so happy anymore. You both built Oh, come on now. It's a sand castle. It's like the most, common form of building. Yeah? Aw, that's neat how you guys match. It's too bad we didn't all do it. Next time we should. Wouldn't that be boring? If something is only one of that thing, that's what makes it special. Yeah, for sandcastles and stuff. People too. My dad always says how everyone is their own man, a real individual. I don't think I'm very special.
Why?
Why not? Nobody else is you. Shiloh simply shook his head. I'm not different. A beat passed between the two. Cove then looked down at his own work again. Okay. He didn't seem to be bothered leaving the disagreement hanging there. Cove had other things on his mind. That's it. Next time I'm building a sand area 51. That's it. Next time I'm building a sand Vatican. Then the seawater can go inside the Vatican and fill the fonts, and then it will be blessed by the Pope himself to create salty holy water. My dad tried to get me to make sandcastles for the first time we came to this beach. I didn't want to. Cove trailed off. Again, there was a moment of silence. Shiloh shifted and then opened his mouth to say something, but Cove spoke up before he could. Didn't think he noticed that Shiloh was going to talk. Hey, do you know what happened when your moms met my dad, Hibika? You waited to see if Shiloh would say what he wanted to. When he didn't, you considered Cove's question. I wasn't there. They didn't tell me. I just remember what happened when I met your dad. Mr. Holden had been a weird stranger then. Well, he was kinda strange. No other parent acted like him, but you knew him better at this point. Now that you thought about it, made a lot of sense that Cove's dad talked to him about people being unique. You were both pulled from your thoughts when Cove continued. Oh, well, I was there. I don't think my mom has met your dad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Hibika's parents and my dad met the same day I met her. I'm gonna say what happened. Shiloh found himself ducking his head. His hat cast a shadow over his face. You could still tell he was upset about not being included in Cove's choice of topic. That was kind of boring for him, though giving people their own turn to say things they want is important too. Let's include Shiloh. I kind of feel bad for him. Huh? We were talking. Aww. That's sad. I'm sure it wasn't anything super long either. Cove continued like the interruption never happened. He was determined to tell the tale. When we moved here, we didn't bring a lot of things with us. Only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car. We didn't even get a moving truck. I sat in there while Dad brought it all inside. I didn't want to get out because I knew Dad would make me look around the new house. I really didn't want to do that. His lips twisted into a frown as he recalled that. Then I saw your moms. They were in a car too and stopped at your house. I guess they were coming back from somewhere or something. My dad noticed. He waved his hand, then went over to the front of your house where he started talking to them. I don't know what they said. I couldn't hear it. But he couldn't see me anymore since he was looking the other way. So I opened the car door and I left. I wanted to get away and went behind the houses. I found those hills there, the ones where we met for the first time. Cove nodded, then stared at you. You stared back. Didn't go on to say anything more. Aren't you going to finish your story? Cove's brow wrinkled, like he didn't understand why you were surprised.
Huh?
That's all that happened. Okay. Let me see. Oh, it's Grunkle time again. Look at that. Alright, Smelly. Oh, shit. Ignore that. Ignore that. Let's see. Why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? I think thanks for telling me. You're welcome. Because we did want to know at the beginning what happened. Even if not much happened, you weren't gonna complain about knowing the story. Shallow's mouth twisted into a scowl of disbelief. It seems I was excited for the yeah, I was just so wet for the scrunglification. Why'd you bring that up anyway? There was a slight shrug of Cove's shoulders. Well, I was thinking about it because of the sandcastle. Made me remember when I moved to here. Dad showed me the beach first before we went back to the car to unpack. He was really excited about it for some reason. Cove's brows furrowed a little more as he quietly raked his hands in the sand. I get it. You thought maybe Mr. Holden wasn't that excited about the beach and instead was hoping Cove might be.
And then I have to drink more water.
But the line of conversation came to its end, and we had to drink more water. Even Cove was done with it. Some other topic had popped in his head, like drinking more water. Shallow fidgeting uncomfortably in the sand had made Cove aware of his presence again. They looked at each other, and you could only wonder what this might be about. Hey, Shiloh. Yeah? Why are you always turning so red? Oh, fuck. Why are you always turning so red? Even though nothing happened. Clearly startled, he jerked back. Neither you or Shiloh had expected that to be how he got included into the conversation again. I don't know, I guess. Okay, it's kind of weird. Shallow's eyes were wide with embarrassment, and his lips twitched, and he was blushing even harder than before. He has anxiety! Leave him alone! God! Maybe it wasn't only this. Perhaps it was simply the last straw. But it was a big deal to Shiloh, a huge deal. He didn't look sad. He seemed almost panicked. You weren't sure if he was about to cry or run away or what, but you soon got an answer. Why do you wear glasses? Most kids don't wear glasses, and nobody's named Cove. Who asked you to come? It's probably just your dad bugging you because family's some more, because you don't have anyone else who will ever play with you. Damn, boy. Cove blinked. The tension on the beach was suddenly uncomfortable in a way you didn't know how to laugh off. It didn't seem the kind of thing he would get upset about, though you had never known what kind of thing would bother Shiloh. I'm sorry. Me too. I was just wondering. I don't know if I should... Are we gonna build more? The day's gonna be over soon. Hibika, you're right. The sun's going down so fast. We all went back to making more sand buildings, but the whole mood had changed. Shiloh's cheeriness was clearly gone, and Cove looked as confused as ever about why the other boy blew up. All our boys keep blowing up. Shiloh. The air stayed uncomfortable the rest of the afternoon, right up to the moment that Shiloh's mom appeared to the beach to take him home. It aggroed the other kid.
I don't know, I think even with the cast, Cove could still take him on. At least you try to do something to resolve it, though. Seemed like it helped. Even though Shiloh's smile when he said goodbye to Cove wavered, it stayed as bright as ever for you. That had to count for something. But with Shiloh gone and the sun going down, you knew it was time for you and Cove to head to your own houses. The two of you trailed out of the park together, toward the neighborhood. The walk home was quiet. You passed by familiar landmarks, shoes thumping against the sidewalk in near perfect unison. Cove was clearly caught up in thinking about something. What you thinking about? Something was definitely up, so you chose to reach out to him and ask. Hey, Cove, everything okay? You're making a funny face. Oh, I was just wondering. Cove fell silent again for a few seconds, then sighed. Why did Shiloh act like that when I said he was read a lot? Well, he gets embarrassed. He probably felt really embarrassed and lashed out. Embarrassed? But I didn't say anything bad. It might have upset him anyway. I guess. I can't get it. I can get it. Why he would do that. Sometimes I get really mad too. Despite seemingly coming to a conclusion, Cove's mood was still sour. Hey, Hibika. Was Shiloh telling the truth? Huh? His gaze left yours as he dug the sole of his shoe into the ground. He looked oddly vulnerable for a second. Does my dad make you hang out with me? I know he talks to your moms about that a lot. An uncomfortable weight settled in your chest at the question. You liked spending time with Cove. You didn't even have to think hard about it. You knew you did. But you couldn't help feel guilty. Cove still didn't know what happened when you... Yeah, but I didn't take the money! Dad does do stuff so you hang out with my family, but Shiloh shouldn't have said that. No. Cove's shoulders relaxed. You hadn't even noticed that he had tensed up. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So for this part, would I like a bit of useful information? Sure, I'll take some useful, non-spoily information. Lay it on me. Anyway, I didn't think you were pretending, I just wanted to make sure it was okay is all.
Thanks.
Thanks for telling me. Your throat tightened. It was hard to meet Cove's earnest gaze again. Keeping secrets was hard. I'll get more chances to tell about Mr. Holden's offer. Oh. Yeah, but I feel like it's moot. Because, yes, his father tried to bribe me to hang out with him, but I wasn't interested in the money, and I wasn't interested in the bribe. Like, I clearly wanted to meet this new person, and got to know them, and genuinely liked the person. I feel like it's kind of moot. Oh, and often they think it's the only chance. I don't know. I feel like it's something that's better left unsaid, because it never went that way. Especially the way that I played through it. I never took the money, I never considered the bribe. Oh, I feel like at this point it's kind of moot. By now the two of you were on the sidewalk near your houses. It was time to part ways. You said goodbye. I want to hug him. What happens when I hug him? I feel like he needs a hug. Can I hug? A hug. You stepped forward and wrapped your arms around him tightly. You turned your head, resting your cheek on his shoulder. Cove stood there awkwardly with his hands at his side. He wasn't much of a hugger. But she didn't get the impression he was unhappy that you were. Aw. Bye, Cove. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Bye, Hibika. You pulled away, then jogged towards your house. When you looked back, you saw Cove making his way back home too. As if you felt your eyes on him. As if he felt your eyes on him, he turned around. He waved. You did too. You still felt a little unsure about what you were supposed to do about the deal. What do you mean? There was no deal at that point. There was a deal offered, but if it wasn't taken, then it didn't happen. You didn't want to say something bad, or something you shouldn't. You had no idea how Cove would take it either. It would be terrible if you made him feel bad. What if he didn't want to play with you anymore? You might change your mind sometime. There was always tomorrow after all. But for now, it was definitely something that you keep to yourself. With a final look, you went inside your house. Okay. Oh god. Alright. I need a stretch. Holy fuck. Ooh. What do you guys think of the reading so far? Am I doing a good job? Am I being a good narrator? Are you relaxed? Are you stressed? Are you unhappy with my narration skills? Ugh. God, and I had to burp too.
And then I have to drink more water.
Kai, you had excellent timing because I had just grabbed my water bottle. Okay. I'm gonna complete the long day. Ooh, sorry if you could hear me swallow. Goodness. Alright, there's another scorching summer day. The kind where no sooner had you finished 1 cup of water, you were already filling it up again. Everyone else had something going on, so that afternoon, it was just you and Shiloh. This didn't happen much, especially since Cove had arrived. Without Lizzie around, ugh, gross, we have to hang out with Shiloh the entire day? What the fuck? I mean, I don't hate him. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not really feeling either way with Shiloh. Shiloh went along with whatever you wanted, so he wasn't a bother, but he also wasn't that much fun. You drank yet another drink and frowned at the empty vessel. Your thirst was gone, but you still craved something icy cold and refreshing, something sweet, something like a snow cone? Popsicle. Honestly, when it's really, really hot, I go for popsicles because of how refreshing they are. You wanted something fruity and brightly colored. There was nothing like that to be found at home. You knew that without needing to look. Your moms didn't keep sweets in the house. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes at 8 years old, a friend comes over and it's like, sure. I remember having playdates like that where my mom would set up playdates because I didn't like actively look for friends, but I didn't abstain from friends either. So she would try to find me friends, and one I remember because it was the time I tried Chef Boyardee for the first time and I spit it the fuck out, and then the mom got mad that I didn't like Chef Boyardee. And I felt bad because I was like, am I supposed to like this? But it's gross. Why am I being... Why is she mad? Why are people mad at me just because I don't like their canned pasta? And my mom picked me up and was told that I was too picky, and my mom said, oh, well, what did you feed her? It said Chef Boyardee, and she said, well, there's your problem. That's shit. Outside, there were plenty of places where such goodies could be obtained, but they were shops and demanded payment in exchange for their products. Are we gonna make our own popsicles? Let's see what Shiloh does. Shiloh, do you have any money? Damn, I didn't know we were just gonna straight up ask him for money. Oh, let me check. That was easy. You felt like you should tell him why you were asking. Thanks. I want a popsicle, but my moms don't keep any here.
Shiloh rummaged in his backpack and proudly produced an assortment of coins, plus one stray button. You set the button aside and counted the coins in neat piles. Just over $1. You announced this to Shiloh. He had almost certainly come to the same conclusion, but he'd been watching you expectantly. It's start. Shiloh beamed at you. We'll need to find some more. Okay. The two of you lifted couch cushions, stuck tiny hands down deep crevices in the sofa and under furniture, and scoured the back of drawers. Most of what you found was useless or gross. Bent paper clips, fluffy wisps of dust, or sandy crumbs. But every so often, one of you would strike silver or bronze and then add it to the growing pile of coins. Dusty and disheveled from checking every room and squinting into every tiny nook, the two of you finished pooling your finds. Shiloh held his breath as you counted the coins once again. $2.53 and 2 buttons. You didn't know when the second button had decided to join the party, but you were too pleased with your successful haul to throw it out.
Is that enough?
You figured he knew the answer without looking to you for confirmation, but the thrill of your success and the reward that would follow canceled out any other feelings you might have had about that. Yeah. You could now afford something at the shops, just one thing, but infinitely better than none. Shiloh clapped his hands.
Yay! Yay!
The two of you dashed outside. The promise of sugar buoyed you on to your destination where, breathless but happy, you stared at the overwhelming number of options. You knew what you wanted, but it wasn't just you who had contributed the funds to get the treat. He seemed to notice your pause.
Are you getting a popsicle?
Shiloh asked as though he was entirely separate from the decision, rather than someone with a stake in the outcome. Do you mind? Shiloh cocked his head to the side.
This was your idea. You should choose.
You tried to get something you both wanted. You went ahead and got what you wanted originally. Are you sure it's okay? Let's get something we both wanted. That seems fair. It wasn't fair for you to be the only one who decided, when he'd been a main factor in making this happen. Some of the money came directly from his backpack. What do you like?
All of them. They're so good.
And then I have to drink more water.
And then I have to drink more water. Water. Water, water. Ooh. Water.
You pressed further. But what do you really like? Popsicles or ice creams? Which is your favorite?
Aw, it's so hard to pick. I don't know.
Frustrated, you cut to the heart of the matter. Take a drink while you go eat for the first time since... Lexi! You haven't eaten, like, it is, like... It's late! Lexi, it's late! How did you shit the bed this badly on eating? Even I'm not this bad. Holy shit, woman! It's only 9:20. Still, though, it's late. For your first meal? Are you fucking kidding me? Girl. Oh my goodness. Eat something. Nourish your fucking bones. She were busy. Busy with what? You can at least shove a granola bar in your face. Listen. I know I'm not one to talk. Yes, I understand. Whenever I draw, I tend to forget about eating and drinking. It's really hard. It's okay. No one's actually mad at you. We just want you to eat something, woman. How's school going anyway? I forgot to ask you today, Lexi. You want me to choose?
Yeah.
And that was that. You got the dessert you wanted and hoped Charlotte would actually like it too. Finally, the reward for all your hard work was in your hands. School is going blah. I'm sorry to hear that, hon. I hear the quizzes are giving you a hard time and the rules are really strict. That's complete ass, but I remember how those quizzes go.
when I went to college. You sucked on the fruity popsicle you'd bought. The icy treat cooled you down perfectly, and the zesty flavor was refreshing. You held it up to Shiloh so he could take a turn. He shook his head.
Finish it.
You can finish it. He didn't want any? After everything he did to help get it? That was weird.
It's okay.
It's okay. You want it more than I do, and I'm really happy we got to play together. You finish it. See, your homework is trying to head bash your way through. Oh. I'm sorry, Lexi. You're a smart cookie, though. I know you can do it, but I also know that your head must be tired. If you've been studying all this time, though, if you've been busy all day, please just take a break. Eat something, drink something, just kick back for a little bit. And if you feel like you need to study more or do more, then do that. But breaks are important, especially when taking care of yourself. And when your body goes without eating for so long, it tends to go into a panic mode. So, I remember I didn't eat all day, and then somebody once told me to, you know, just eat a cracker or something. Let your body know that everything's okay. Well, wasn't worth arguing further. The frozen treat was being worn away by the sun, and started to trickle dangerously towards your fingers. If you waited much longer, then neither of you would be able to eat it. Alright. Alright, thanks. The two of you began to head back home as you ate. You offered the treat once more to Shiloh, but he refused again. Besides, at least the horse isn't here to give me shit after all the times you gave her shit for not eating. Yeah, but we both know that Dandy's sick right now. She's not really doing much of anything, and I really don't want her to. I hope she's okay. Being sick is no fun, and I despise her awful parent for giving her child mold. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what the literal fuck? How do you not care that much that you're willing to get your own child sick? That is some literal shit. You walked side by side on the shore in silence, but your thoughts kept drifting to the boy beside you. Why didn't he speak up for himself? It was almost as Shiloh didn't know how to say what he felt, or was too afraid to. Let's see. Are you scared of me? You thought that was kind of sad? Are we friends? Shiloh opens his eyes wide, seemingly caught off by the blunt question.
No way!
But you don't tell me things, like what you want to do or what treat we should get. Yeah, some parents are so hateful about lifestyle choices that they do evil things. A lot of parents, when their child is born, they already have a path painted out for how that child should behave or what to do. And for a lot of parents, they go, oh, my child can do whatever. I know it wasn't out of spite, but still, like, any caring parent would check. Any caring parent would definitely check or be like, you know what, these are kind of old, so I'm gonna get you some new ones. Because it doesn't matter if it was out of spite or not. It was just the blatant. It's just the blatant, like, disregard and the blatant not caring. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Like, spend money on Dandy, that would never happen with her parents, unfortunately. But hey, that's what we're here for, right? To spoil her in their place? We all love to spoil Dandy, don't we? A parent whose heart isn't full of evil wouldn't penny pinch that hard. Well, it might be from penny pinching, like I said. It definitely came from not a good place. It definitely came from just the lack of care. Yeah. Yeah. And Lexi, you agree with me. You're saying what I'm saying at the moment. We're agreeing. I just hope she feels better, because getting sick from mold is no joke. It's hard to get rid of. Mold is a stubborn bitch. And it can make you really sick. It can even kill you, depending on the type. Like, Dandy could have gotten really, really sick. Oh, that's terrifying. Yes, yes, we all want a healthy Dandy. We want a dandy. A dandy dandelion. Black mold would have been the worst. What kind of mold was found in there again? Was it like a green mold, or was it like a white mold? Because black mold is when it spores, which is when it gets the worst. The spores are the worst. It was like green and... oh god, it was green and black. Oh! Oh fuck. Oh fuck. That's awful. Holy shit. Dandy has, like, a fortitude of steel. Holy fuck. If it was anyone else, they'd be knocked on their ass. And she's already feeling terrible. My god. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. Fortunately, this was another thing you couldn't bully Shiloh on. You hoped it was true, that he really did feel okay around you, though. Shiloh made you unsure about setting a label on the experience of spending the afternoon with just him. There had been good times, and there had been confusing ones. But you were positive of one thing, at least. The treat was delicious, and that was nice. The sun was low on the horizon as you returned to your neighborhood. There you spotted two familiar figures up ahead, Lizzie and Cove. You opened your mouth to make sure your presence was known to them, just as you saw the tears on Cove's face. You walked straight over, Shiloh at your heels. Once there, you... Let's just ask what happened. It's not good to jump to conclusions. Without a time machine, the only way you were going to find out was by asking the witnesses. Lizzie might have done something, but she could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or even come to Cove's aid. You wanted to hear the story. Cove, what happened? Olivia didn't do her job, so you'll... Yes! The shoutouts! Give everybody shoutouts right now! Woo! You can't escape Game Crazy. You're getting loved on. Get loved on, bitch! Livy Livy had to go to bed. Livy's been trying to fix her, schedule. Livy's trying to fix her sleep schedule. She's on some new medicine. So she can't, stick around for streams as late. But it's really good for her. I'm really happy she's trying to fix her sleep schedule. Yupika, I got yelled at. He took a deep, steadying breath. Some grandparents got mad at me. Aw, sorry. Lizzie jerked her head in the direction of a nearby house. Your heart sunk. You knew exactly what happened. Every year, the same mean old couple rented out that condo for the summer. You, Lizzie, and Shiloh knew to stay away from them, but Cove couldn't have. They're like that with everybody. Even your mom struggled to find anything nice to say about them, but the elderly pair particularly took offense to kids. Didn't matter if they were really nice like Cove. Yeah, Lizzie drew herself up at that. She looked pointedly in your direction. I was helping. That's cool. Is there anything else I can do? Ah, your food's in the microwave. Good. What you eating? No, I'm just gonna stay away. Or you could teach him a lesson. There was a devilish glint in her eyes. What? You should ding-dong ditch them. Go ring the doorbell and run. It'll be great because they're so slow. They'll never catch you. I know, those damn boomers strike again. That's dumb. I don't want to go near them ever again.
You were just saying that because you're a chicken.
That voice line, that clack clack chicken. Cove glared, but he didn't take the bait. Lizzie turned to you. You're not a chicken, are you? Check it out. Check it out. Sniff, sniff. Chicken. You thought they deserved worse? I'll do it. Let's see. Yeah, I have chickens, so of course I'd be able to, you know, mimic them. I'm not a chicken. No part of me is a chicken. I am a full-bred blind dog. Let's see. You know what? I'd rather just avoid them. They're old and miserable. Not Hibika, Klugsha. Don't you mean Shabika? Full bread? What kind of bread? Hokkaido milk bread. Next art commission, a Hibika chicken girl, please don't. Yes, they're old, miserable, and smell funny. And they deserve to be on their own. They deserve to be left alone. Because maybe that's what they want. He looked at the house. Behind these closed doors lurked two beings, rich in years, but poor in patience. Maybe they deserved retaliation. Maybe they didn't. But that punishment would not be coming from you. It was safer to stay far away from them, especially since Cove took their outburst to heart. I'm not doing it either. Oh good, Isinger got their shout out. Yes, please. Please follow Isingra. Or, better yet, check out their streams and see if they're up to snuff. I'm sure you'll love them. Another chicken for the coop. This is a hen house now. If we're chickens, you're a lizard, Lizzie. Oh, damn. She wagged her tongue at his face. Still better than a bird brain. A chicka. The condo door opened, revealing one of the two culprits. The old man, wise in face, was set in a scowl, which was to say he looked exactly like he always did when you saw him. Maybe that was his normal face. The people aren't ready for your new PC. That's exciting. That's very exciting. What are you kids doing loitering outside my house? Or maybe he was just always in a terrible mood. Nothing! Nothing! He repeated the word as if it was the greatest crime anyone could commit. Nothing good, more like! Get lost! It wasn't as if he owned the space outside the house, but Cove's eyes, still red from his earlier tears, were wide, and you thought it would be best to heed the old man's command. Lizzie took off, with Shiloh immediately trailing after her, without so much as a glance back in your direction. So much for your friendship. You waved your arm at Cove, summoning him to follow you, and ran after Lizzie. The old man hollers propelled you all the way to the street to the sanctity of the hill. Only once you were safe did you notice a stitch in your chest and the ache of your legs. Chat, we're gonna have to kill this old guy. I'll get the hammers. God, no. All you have to do is give him a swift push and he's gonna break his hip. You flopped down, the blades of grass tickling your face. Lizzie, who had taken the lead in the end, was already lazing on the ground. The four of you took a moment to catch your breath and enjoy the feeling of cool grass against your skin.
Cove.
Hey, Cove. Cove lifted his head. I told you there were mean grandparents around here. Cove rolled his eyes, then decided this wasn't dismissive enough and rolled his whole body away from your sister. I'm pretty sure you could beat old people with like a voodoo curse or something. Damn. I don't know. Hammers. Quick, somebody set up a poll. Voodoo or hammers?
Lizzie chose to ignore this response, starting chatting to Shiloh, who eagerly joined into the conversation. In the back of your mind, you knew that you'd be second fiddle again to Shiloh once Lizzie came around. It always went like that. Let's see. You still felt a little sad, and it was always annoying. It was fine. I mean, it is fine. He can do what he wants. Shiloh could prefer Lizzie as much as he wanted to. There were other things to attend to anyway. You wriggled close to the cove. He had calmed down for the most part, and was inspecting a flower. His fingers pinched the stem and tilted the white petals towards him. That's a poppy. Oh, that reminds me. Guys, I have a niece now. I have a niece, and her name is Poppy. Isn't that cute? I'm an auntie of 2. I have a niece and a nephew. That just reminded me. I'm so happy. Cove glanced at you in acknowledgement, then back at the flower. And the type of poppies on this hill have the name White Linen Poppy, Mom told me.
And then I have to drink more water.
Then I have to drink more water to hydrate the poppies. He quirked a smile. That's funny. He ran a finger around the edge of the petals. It doesn't feel like cloth. Need a lot of them to make anything. He nodded and released the delicate plant. Evaluation complete. This is my favorite kind of flower, but I didn't know what it was called. Thanks. Oh my god! Choice jump scare. Oh. Type my own answer. That's so cool. Like all flowers, I don't care about flowers. Peonies are pretty. Oh my god. They even have hibiscus on here. Oh, oh, chat, it's between hibiscus and sunflowers. Oh god, I gotta, it's here. I love hibiscus. So many options! So much room for activities, guys! So much room for activities! Oh! They're from Hawaii, just like my mommy. And they're pretty like her, too. Yeah, and you're pretty like the both of them. Well, my name comes from hibiscus. Hibika. Hibiscus. Thanks. You moved onto your back with a small smile and looked at the darkening sky. The blanket of clouds reminded you of a thick throw you curled under on cold, rainy days. You wondered if the clouds would be as soft. They lazily floated on by, splitting from each other, merging and morphing into new shapes. I saw an alpaca! You saw a fluffy alpaca in the sky. You nudged Cove and pointed to it. Can you see the alpaca? If I become alpaca, will you still love me? Cove joined in gazing skywards.
Whoa.
It's more like a llama. Hey. He chuckled at your reaction. All the sun's light faded from the sky, and the moon rose higher. Lizzie got to her feet, dusting strands from grass from her bare legs, and surveyed her surroundings. Alpaca, she said, this run off the tongue. I'm trying to think. Alpaca Shisa? The ocean, visible from the crest of the hill, beckoned with every sweep of the tide. Alpaca Shisa? Let's go to the beach! There was no argument from the other two. Shiloh was still Shiloh, and Cove would never say no to going to the shore. He was a child of the sea. You? Yeah, I want to go there. I like it. You eagerly join the others in descending the hill to the water. You stepped onto the sand for the second time that day, but it felt different at night. Oh god, the beach at night is so nice. The beach was quiet at this hour. Abandoned sandcastles and footsteps in the sand, too big to belong to any of you, were the only indication of how busy it had been only hours earlier. The four of you kicked shoes off and removed socks and walked along the water's edge. The waves tickled your feet. I wonder what would happen if you tried to take a bath in the ocean with shampoo and everything. That would be bad for the fish.
Jeez.
I didn't say anyone would do it. Jeez, you don't have to be serious about everything. You're the one who asked what would happen, and that is what would happen. It hurt the fishies. I like bubble baths at home. They're a lot of fun. Me too. Bubble baths are luxurious. You never heard Lizzie use that word before. Mommy loves to have bubbles in her bath. She'll turn the lights off and have candles. I'm gonna do that next time. Hey, when's your mom coming to pick you up anyway? Not for a while. She's busy. What about your dad? How come you never talk about him? Nobody does. Don't you know you're not supposed to ask something like that? Why would somebody want to talk about something they never talk about? You kept your eyes on the ground, watching your toes get swallowed up by the waves. Even if Shiloh never seemed upset when the topic came up, it made you feel awkward just for having both of your moms. It's okay. I'm like Lizzie and Hibika. I don't have a dad. But I don't have two moms. I just have one. She's really great. Oh, sorry. I only have one now, too. My mom isn't here. She's back home. It's just my dad with me.
Sorry.
Oh, I never had a dad or anything, so I don't feel bad. It's really sad your mom is gone. Cove nodded. Let's not do that. Let's not joke about Shiloh's mom getting with Cove's dad. Even though they are different, parents are good. You didn't say anything. Yes. I was going to do this story and then head to bed. I don't have work tomorrow, so I can afford to stay up a little bit later. But thank you, Lexi. I appreciate you looking at the clock for me. You're the best mod in the world. Yeah. Ko couldn't muster a response. You don't think he truly disagreed, though. The silence broke with a splash as Lizzie kicked in your direction. Cold water and sodden sand splattered against your legs. Lizzie giggled.
And then I have to drink more water.
Lizzie giggled, having to drink more water, foot still outstretched from the kick. Cove joined in, striking the incoming waves to make a splash of his own. Shiloh scurried out of the cove's spray zone with a grin. I retaliate. You use your foot to smack the water pooling around you, sending an arc of sea foam flying back onto your sister. He got you. He beat you to the punch. You laughed as she sputtered, some of the salty seawater having landed in her mouth. She spat it out. Ugh. Yuck. Lizzie chased you, intent on revenge. You dashed up and down the coast, taking it in turns to be a predator and the prey, as well as joining forces to take down Shiloh or Cove. Alliances were silently forged and wordlessly broken. Everything was fair game in war. War never changes. Ah! Shiloh's brief exclamation was drowned out by the biggest splash yet, caused him by falling face first onto the ground. That would have been bad enough without the wave that followed, cascading over his prone body. That poor kid. Shiloh sat up, shaking his head like a dog coming in from the rain, as you all hurried over to check on him. His hair was plastered to his head, and his so close hung. If there was any part of him that was still dry, you couldn't see it. That was crazy. Are you okay? Yeah, my foot got stuck and I fell over. Way to go, Shiloh, you dumbo. Let's help him up. Aw. You didn't take my hand. Lizzie was too busy snickering to notice and held out her hand to Shiloh too. He reached over and took it. Slowly, he started to pull himself up from the ground. Then he slipped on the slick sand, dragging him and Lizzie down, and just in time for another wave to hit. The water rolled over them. What were the odds of that happening twice in a row? You thought they must be low.
And then I have to drink more water.
And then I have to drink more water, just like, at least it's not as salty, though. But there's no way Shiloh would do something like that on purpose, then pretend it was an accident. Especially not to Lizzie. Even if your relationship with Shiloh felt unclear, you did at least like her a lot. Lizzie was his favorite, right? Smiling boldly, Lizzie extracted herself from the ground and wiped a streak of sand from her cheek. She didn't intend to let this embarrass her. Shiloh got up again as well, this time without incident. He still looked like a drowned puppy, but that didn't stop Cove laughing at the two of them. With that, it was time to call it a day. The four of you made the journey back home, leaving a trail of wet footsteps and sand in your wake. Damp clothes may have weighed down some of the group, but your spirits were high. Your arms swung side to side as a cool breeze flowed past. Your moms were outside, chatting to Cove's dad. We're back! Your mom's faces fell as they took in the state you were all in, ranging from messy to soaked.
No.
Elizabeth, is that all you have to say for yourself? You brought half of the beach back with you. God, you did the math. You have enough points to water me for 10 hours with the 2.5 timer. Jesus Christ. They certainly did. What's Marigold going to do when she comes to get Shiloh? Is that how you want him to be for the long drive home? Cold and filthy? Lizzie's expression turned sulky over the scolding. Being the oldest could be fun, but it also meant she was the first to get in trouble when something went wrong. Mr. Holden, on the other hand, chuckled as he ruffled Cove's matted hair. You've been out making memories, bucko. I'm glad you had a good time with your friends. Cove used a slightly moist cast arm to push his dad off. Mr. Holden's eyes widened when he noticed even that got wet. Now he was worried too. I think they could have found a less risky way to spend time. And just had as much fun. That, might be right. Kids, what can you do? Come on, Cove. Let's get you cleaned up and dried off. We wouldn't want that cast to have to be reset. Cove winced at the thought. Okay. Attaboy. Mr. Holden casually bent down and plucked Cove off the ground, ultimately holding Cove against his chest. Sam was already transferring from Cove onto him, but that didn't seem to bother Mr. Holden. Cove protested being carried, but only got a reassuring pat on the back for his trouble.
Take care.
Good night, Cove. Thanks for the talk, Cliff. Night, Shisa family, and Shiloh, too. Resigned to his fate, Cove twisted his body in his dad's arms in order to turn around and wave goodbye. Smiling, he waved back. Good night!
Fine.
We better do what we can to fix you guys up, too. Come on, everybody inside. I want you to march straight to the downstairs bathroom. Yes, Mom. Okay, Lizzie's mom. Don't worry too much about wiping your feet. That won't do much good tonight. Sitting on an old beach towel your mommy had found, you waded in for the hall. Until you were less sandy, you weren't allowed to go to your room or walk around the house. But you didn't get to eat a sandwich for dinner there. Did get to eat a sandwich for dinner there. Felt like an indoor picnic. Included with the sand in the sandwich. It had been decided that Shiloh would wash first and borrow some of your clothes. He was already finished and packed away in his mom's car. Miss Fields had come to collect him a little while ago. It was a bit funny seeing him without a hat on for once.
Lizzie, being much more soaked than you, got to go into the tub next. It wasn't a bubble bath that she had hoped. This was a no fun allowed cleanup session. At least that's what she claimed. Not too much longer and it would be your turn. When the bath was done, you have to go right to bed. After a day like this, though, we're glad you weren't going to have any further events. Drifting off to sleep sounds like a great idea. Is it wrong you want to waterboard me for 10 hours straight? I mean, Lexi, I'm not going to kink shame you. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Alright, guys. Woo! Celebratory boom! Celebratory boom! We have completed another one. We are going to save right here. Can I save? Thank you. Thank you so much. We are going to save right here, because with that, I am going to call it here. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, all of you who decided to follow this stream. Thank you, all of you, for participating in the chat, for lurking, for, You want a raid-out suggestion? There's still the step 1 ending. Well, I guess we could do that. Here, hold on. It's not quite 11 just yet. We can do the ending. Because we did all this here. Before I do all that, let's do the ending. Okay, you want to raid out Mattias. Okay. Move on to the next step. Let's go. We'll do this step, and then we will save, and then we'll end. I'll never get tired of that view. You stood beside your moms, Lizzie and Cove, as the 5 of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far away. You'd like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. This is actually perfect. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians in the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we're so dull. Let's get out more. Didn't you real magic, Mom? How'd you figure that one out?
Duh.
'Cause I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lizzie dear. There are still all kinds of magic in the world.
But I knew.
But I knew. Lizzie gave Mommy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. You looked over at Cove, who hadn't said a word since you started home. He didn't look upset though, just content. You're aware he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, can't just sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan. Mom, summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. Best puppy dog eyes, let's go. Oh, don't look at me like that. Like what? Please! Please! Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't work now, too. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. Well...
No.
Oh, come on, Pam. She looks like a Pam. Come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that you were very close to victory.
Okay.
Alright. But as soon as dinner's ready, you plot her coming inside, understood? Yes, Mom! Yes, Mom! Cove, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. You grinned at Cove, nudging his arm with your elbow. Cove gave a non-committal shrug to your mommy, which you took as an agreement. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get that she-cell bracelet at Tines and Trinkets. Ooh! Or maybe the playground? Or the fireflies are probably coming out, right? We can't go too far. I'm going home. No. Let's... Lizzie had her own ideas on what she wanted to do, but what were you going to do? You glanced over to the cove, considering. A strong gust of wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself. Doesn't the wind know that summer's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction your mothers had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots to plan if I want to make the most of tomorrow. You thought this over, looking off toward the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long, she was disappearing off down the road. Thank you for head taps. Thank you. Meanwhile, Cove was going in the opposite direction, heading for the beach. I won't go with Cove, like what the fuck? Cove gave you a smile that you couldn't help but return. Cool. He made a little gesture that you interpreted as, follow me, then started heading off to the waves. Cove knelt down, picking up something you quickly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back and he's skipping rocks! Ooh. A good toss. You can't skip rocks in the ocean, what are you doing? Nothing really. Oh, what the fuck? You can skip rocks in the ocean. You can. The tide has to be low. Like, you can't have, like, waves. But you can skip rocks. I've seen people do it. You tilted your head, wondering over the sudden pensive look on his face. Just thinking. About what? Cove was looking down at this cast, scratching idly at the pink surface, even though you're pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed, and there was a frown on his face. It's not fair. I had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. The cat spirit has eaten. I'm happy for you, Lexi. Was it good? I want to know how. I was jet skiing. Cool! He beamed at him. He had never gone jet skiing. But you've seen others do it all the time from the shore. Looked impressive. Cove looked a little taken aback by your outburst, but after a second, he gave a small nod. He then continued to explain. I crashed. He gestured his arm as if to say then this was the result. It's hard to believe you're allowed to jet ski. Well, I'm not. Oh. Cove let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. I can't believe summer's almost over. You sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. Spicy noodles are tasty. Ooh, chili cheese ramen. I don't know about the cheese part. I think it'll be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. Cool, you're gonna like it. Everyone's super nice. You only been to one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, you'd have to make new friends, meet new teachers. It can be kinda scary. Cove shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. You hear a sniffling sound, and when you take a good look at his face, you realize his eyes were wet.
I want to go home.
He never had to move before, but you thought you could understand. If you had to go to a new school all of a sudden, with all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you sort of maybe understood, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay. I'll see you later. What? At least, like, hug him or tell him that things are gonna be okay. Ko gave his head a small shake. No. I wanna go back home. He went to 5 different schools. I guess in my time, it was probably around that many. I moved around a lot as a kid. With being a military brat, that happens a lot. It had been a while since he moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. He settled back down into the sand, trying to consider what to do. It'll be okay. Military brat life. Yeah. You went to more schools than you can remember. You were also a military brat. Awesome. Yeah, making friends was always hard for me. And it was always foreign to me when people would say, oh man, we've been friends since preschool. Sometimes when you were sad about something, your mom said that to you. In the moment you thought it couldn't possibly be alright, because Sir Stuff-a-Lot lost his arm, or you skinned your knee, or you couldn't possibly finish all your vegetables. Yeah, make friends, then eventually you kind of... I don't think I ever settled into the rut of, I'm just gonna lose my friends, but I kinda did. It's why I didn't seek friends out as a kid a lot. But yeah, it's a little, like, jarring. Like, I have two coworkers that have been friends since, like, they were kids. Pretty much. Like, they know each other, like, their parents know each other, they've been through shenanigans, and I'm a little envious about a relationship like that, because I wish I had a deep childhood friend like that I can look back on memories. But the thing about memories is that it's never too late to make them, and you can always look back, no matter how many memories you make together. But I've always been envious of having a long-time friendship, but being as old as I am, in a way, I have friendships that have lasted quite a while. See, high school was a bit rough. You had jumped friends so much, it was like, yeah, it can be hard to read the room. It can be hard to, especially as you get older, because everyone has already made their friends. Everyone knows who they're gonna sit with at lunch. Everyone knows where they're gonna go or who they're gonna hang out with. But then when you move into a new school, you kind of don't know what to do at first. You don't really know how to feel included or if you even want to be included. And that's what made moving really, really difficult. And I'm sure other people felt the same way. No, but now you've had a few friends you've had for 18 years. That is amazing. That is amazing. I have a friend who's been my friend for, let's see, oh my goodness, they have been my friend for 12 years. 12 years is my longest friend. My goodness, I never thought I'd have a friend for 12 years straight. But here I am, old as shit, with a 12-year streak on friends. Oh gosh. But in the end, they were always right. You're not gonna leave, right? You'll still be around. The question was a little surprising. I think what got me into the in crowd of the group that I hung out with the weebs. And it was weird to be a weeb back then. You got made fun of, you got bullied for being a weeb. Nowadays it's kind of like, oh, you're a weeb, but like you're still cool. You can still be cool. It's accepted. Anime is very mainstream now. But back then, anime wasn't that mainstream, and people thought it was weird and different, and people didn't really like that. So, yeah, it was a little weird to like anime. It was weird to like manga or anything Japanese, and I think what got me into that crowd was they learned that I was born in Japan, and of course, the first thing they ask is, oh my gosh, what was it like? Do you speak Japanese? And I go, no, I was like 3 when I moved. I was 3 when I moved from Okinawa. So, no, I don't know any of the language. I know little phrases and such. I know of the culture. I'm very, very, loving of the culture, of Okinawan culture. You learn to love anime when you spent 3 years in Okinawa. I mean, anime is pretty awesome. Your dad was stationed there when you were young. I bet he was in, yeah, I was born in, Naha, which is where the military base was, I believe. Oh yeah, Naha, Okinawa. The archipelago, Okinawa. Let's see, you're not gonna leave. No. I'm not gonna leave. Your parents would have mentioned if you were gonna move or something, right? After a second, Ko gave a little nod. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. You're fine with him changing the subject again. Another thing, my dad knows about my VTuber model, my PNG. I told him the story behind it and he thought it was really cool. My dad thinks it's really cool. He said it looks just like me. With my cute little freckles and my cute little nose. Yeah, that would be fun. But no, he thought it was cool that I included the Okinawa aspect and the culture. My dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually, that I'll feel better. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. He spread a glance over at Cove, and saw anger had slipped off his face in favor of something almost puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all, as long as I really do feel better. I can see it. You could remember a long time ago when you first started going to school. You have absolutely not been okay with the idea of being away from your parents for most of the day. To listen to strangers tell you what to do and sit with kids you've never met before. Things changing is hard. You're not quite sure what to say, so instead you reach out and take a hold of Cove's hand. The one closest to you is in the cast, so you made sure you were very gentle. As you watch, Cove's eyes got a little misty once more. Yeah, I wish I was old enough to remember Okinawa. Sadly, I was 3. Sadly, I never got to see Okinawa. Just pictures. I hope to return there someday. But until then, I guess I'm just kind of in a stranded Shisa. Just waiting to go back home, I guess. You got the feeling they were different tears from the ones before, though. I hope next summer I'll surf and go exploring and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. It will. It will. The two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. You hoped that Cove would be able to accept this place as his new home. You definitely tried to help in what ways you could. There are so many wonderful things here Cove probably hadn't even seen yet. Lost in thought, you started a bit when you heard a faint familiar sound. The sound of your mom shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realizing it was probably time for dinner. Time had gone by really fast. You stood and dusted the sand off of yourself. My mom's calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Cove looked up at you, expression screaming reluctance, yet ultimately, okay. When you smiled, Cove returned with one of his own. Hibika? Thanks. Aww! It was nice where you were right then. But the two of you couldn't stay in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. Aww.
And then I have to drink more water.
Then I have to drink more water. Oh, in between. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I want to change my character at all. But yeah, the cool thing about this game is that you can transition. So if you want to be if you want to be male, if you want to go by different pronouns, if you want to be androgynous, Cove will pick up on that. and will, you know, recall memories before the transition. It's so cool. This game is so cool. They put so much thought into this game. It's amazing. Let's see. We're going to be... Let me see. We're still gonna be relaxed. I think by now, yeah, we definitely have a crush on this boy. We're blushing. Let's see. Yeah. We'll do that. Customize Cove. Oh, we can customize him now. Hold on. Hold the phone. Or let his prior experiences determine it. Neither. Personality, appearance. Oh, wow. So, I can just either make him choose for himself, or just... I feel like I might make him choose for himself. I kinda don't want to mess with it too much, because, you know, you can't control who they are in real life. Let's see. Shirt, PJs. Oh, okay. I see. PJs. It can be, like, different PJs. Hair. Oh my god. It can be, like, really tousled. Really tousled PJs is kind of cute, actually. His glasses. That's cute. That's heckin' cute, man. No, he's not wearing glasses to bed, so... Oh, jacket. Jacket. Let's see. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. He's not gonna wear glasses for that. Let's see, jacket. Oh, that's looking sleek. That looks sleek. That looks pretty sleek. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Choices on the right aren't exclusive to each outfit or the left. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Oh wow, he's got a scar. He's got a scar from the accident. Choices on the right or the left. Okay, I see. Whoops! Wasn't quite done, but that's okay. Alrighty. Oh, you all are in Advil right now. Sorry. August ended. September began. It was the time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. I'm actually gonna, like, save right here. Actually. Let's overwrite that save. Because I think we'll start from here. This is now the step 2 intro. Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for the, I'm gonna keep talking. Lexi! You're posting them! You're posting them! Alright, guys. While the ad break is in progress, it's only 10 seconds of it. I'm gonna go ahead and call here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for following. You know that I love the company. Thank you for lurking. Whatever you do, I am so happy to have you here, my treasured Gasuto. If you like the vibe, subscribe, follow, buy me a coffee if you're feeling flirty. Any donations go directly toward the stream. Don't forget that you can join the Discord using either links in my Twitch or YouTube channel. There's also a command for it on Twitch if you're ever curious. It directs you immediately toward the Discord, so we're more than happy to have you to, like, talk, share memes, do whatever, really. Let's see. What? Let's see. Now, what was that, what was the raid, Lexi, that you wanted to do? Oh, good night, Pookie. Good night, Smelly. Let's see. Now, what was the raid? What was that username, Lexi? Let me see. Boop boo doo boop boo. I can't find it. Mattias. TV. Mattias TV! There we go. Ooh, they're having a follower celebration. Mattias, I've tuned in on them before. They are a TV VTuber. And they do a variety of things. Looks like they're doing some kind of a celebration. So let's go to them. I'm gonna go ahead and start this raid. Stick around if you wish, but if not, guys, I wish you all a good night. Sleep tight, and remember, tomorrow is another day. Nan kurenai sa. I'll see you next time.